If you're constantly battling low energy, cravings, weight control, watching your health slip away, listen up. There's a simple daily protocol they don't want you to know about that's helping people ditch their meds and reclaim their health. Up to 88% of Americans potentially suffer from some degree of insulin resistance. The Feel Great protocol is a simple 2-step daily system designed to help your body work with you, not against you. Step 1. Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract clinically shown to boost mood, increase mental clarity, and support fat burning. Step 2. A patented fiber matrix called Balance. Taken before meals, it helps regulate blood sugar, curb cravings, and support healthy insulin response. That's it. No crazy diets, no meds, just science-backed support your body actually understands. Feel Great is perfect for you if you have low energy, weight control, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep, diabetes, snacking, sugar cravings, gut health, systemic inflammation. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great protocol.
Hold the line! Stay with me! Brothers! What we do in life?
Making this statement puts you at risk. That's why someone's lying here and someone's a felon.
Okay, well, let's just for a moment hypothetically take this whistleblower at their word. Let's assume for a moment that it's true, Professor. What kind of punishment follows for leaking classified information?
Well, this is a very significant punishment. You can have, in addition to having multiple counts, you can easily go 10 years in terms of a sentence, if not more, depending on the circumstances and the number of violations. Each of these leaks is an individual violation. Each of these documents would likely be charged as a violation. That type of count stacking is precisely what Mueller and others did. Remember, these are these are very similar to the types of claims made against Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago, that he removed material and improperly stored them. There were also allegations that he might have revealed them to third parties. But this is much more serious in one sense. Trump was accused of negligence in most of these counts. This would be a premeditated criminal act to release classified information to damage one's political opponent.
Oh, would it be? How interesting is that? That would be very bad for a chairman of an intelligence committee to be... hit the button as I'm trying to adjust the mic here. Leaking out stuff. But that is the old legend of Adam Shifty Schiff. Pencil neck, some would call him. But welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 204 of Hold the Line. It is currently April 13th, 2026. And as always, I have Miss Lisa B. and Mr. Mac with me. And of course, we always do ladies first. Miss Lisa, how's everything going over there? How's everything in your neck of the woods, across the pond, as we say?
Oh, well, do you really need to ask? Interesting things going on. But I'm good and looking forward to the show, and we'll see what comes out of it today. There's just so much going on, you know? Trying to keep up with it all.
Yeah, it's bananas.
And not standing a chance.
It's getting crazy, and again, I think it's gonna ramp up even more kind of before it settles down in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, it's getting wild out there. A lot of finger pointing and whatnot. But Mr. Maxer, how's it going here? And I just noticed that happens to have 117 comments on that one. Just a coincidence. That, of course, is. But how's it going today, Mac?
It's going well. But this past week has been quite a good one. A lot of stuff been transpiring. A lot of, I think, information's become clear, and I'm looking forward to covering all the types of information we can find this past week. So thanks for everybody that tunes in. Thanks, Space Shot and Lisa, for doing the shows, and thanks to the mods.
Absolutely. Here we go. Yeah, so I guess maybe we can start with, we we started off with a little Schiff stuff here, right? And pretty sure all this is connected. Because what was that we were talking about here? A leak in 2019. If you guys remember, there was a certain name we couldn't even say, or my YouTube video would literally get shut off. It was sounded like one of an old candy bar, Caramello. Remember Eric Charmello? We couldn't even say that word for a while, and who knows if maybe we'll get kicked off today. But here we have Tulsi from actually today at 1:34 p.m. Newly declassified records expose how deep state actors within the intelligence community concocted a false narrative that Congress used to usurp the will of the American people and impeach duly elected President Donald Trump in 2019. Today, we reveal the truth. So if we click on that, we have a little thing from DNI, and I have as well a different one to go with it. So exposes conspiracy used by Congress to impeach President Trump. The intelligence community Inspector General Atkinson aggressively advanced a so-called whistleblower's narrative using a witness who co-authored the 2017 Russia hoax that was used as a basis for Trump's impeachment. I'm going to read just a couple of these, and if you guys want to chime in at any time, absolutely you may. But I'm just going to read a couple of these points here. So today, DNI Tulsi Gabbard releases never-before-seen documents exposing a coordinated effort by elements within the intelligence community. Remember Schumer? Oh, you're going after the intelligence community? They got 6 ways from Sunday for going after you. Ah, okay. So is that what we're dealing with here? Yes. Including a former inspector general to manufacture a conspiracy that was used as the basis to impeach President Trump in 2019. During his preliminary investigation into President Trump's July 2019 phone conversation with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, former intelligence community Inspector General Atkinson did not follow standard Inspector General procedures and relied upon politicized, manufactured narratives, only conducting interviews with 4 individuals: the whistleblower, the whistleblower's friend, who was a co-author of the January 2017 Russia hoax intelligence community assessment, and close colleague of disgraced former FBI agent Peter Strzok, and 2 character references who had 0 firsthand knowledge of the July 2019 phone call. I mean, guys, right off the bat, if you start with that, you're like, clearly they were going after him. So it's really, really crappy what they did. And like I've been saying for years, this can never be let, to just lie like it is, because you get away with something like this, then it's just the flood dams are going to open. But I think they're going to put a kibosh on this and make an example of these people, ergo the very, very drip, drop, slow drippies that we're getting. It says, despite a lack of any firsthand evidence, Atkinson proceeded to take actions to weaponize the whistleblower process and exceeded his statutory jurisdiction by ignoring Department of Justice guidance and relying on secondhand testimony to ensure the whistleblower complaint was released to Congress, referred to the FBI, and leaked to the propaganda media. Then House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff and then Speaker Nancy Pelosi used this false secondhand narrative to create media intrigue and ultimately spark the basis to impeach President Trump in December of 2019. There's a quote here. Deep state actors within the intelligence community concocted a false narrative that was used by Congress to usurp the will of the American people and impeach the duly elected President of the United States. Inspector General Atkinson failed to uphold his responsibility to the American people, putting political motivations over the truth. And this, along with the politicization of the whistleblower process by a former CIA employee who was working hand in glove with Democrats in Congress, are egregious examples of the deep state playbook on how to weaponize the intelligence community. Exposing these tactics and showing how they undermine the fabric of our democratic republic furthers the critical cause of transparency and accountability and will help prevent future abuse of power. I mean, oh God, I mean, this is just, so let me get some thoughts, and I'm going to pull up some probably supporting drops from the post, but this is so bad, guys, and I don't know who wants to, Mac, do you want to make a comment first, and then we'll switch back and forth. We went ladies first the first time, but any comments with all this stuff? And dude, remember all the lengths that Schiff made? Like, I don't even know if it was during this one or maybe the second impeachment where he like fabricated. Yeah, I think it was this one where he fabricated the fake phone call and made it sound like that was the actual phone call when he read it in front of Congress. Like, such a scumbag. But any thoughts on that whatsoever, Mac?
Oh, I mean, this is great. This is all confirmation to the truthers, you know. And always the cover up is way bigger than the crime. So we've seen a cover up, you know, 2020 was the election year. So, you know, 6 years, that's pretty crazy. And, you know, I mean, obviously there's other things that they're trying to cover up, but they didn't want Trump in. So they've been doing a coup since 2016 or 17, according to this, and getting in Trump's way, and they made up fake narratives. So there you go. That's what I see. And this is confirming everything Q's posted. I was trying to find the post where there was all those initials, and it showed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like this is part of that. Yeah. But this is fantastic. This is. I think we're on the justice portion of the show as far as the movie, and we're going to see some, I think, action coming, hopefully fairly quickly. But you know, this is in succession with other stuff, so it's like there's a rhythm or a beat to what's being released, along with like the global news. It's really strange. Don't you feel like there's like a timed release as soon as they hit certain things, it's on to the next? So
yeah, I think that's very timely. Miss Lisa, I mean, this stuff is so nasty and it goes back so long, but it looks like they're not going to let that dog lie. It looks like, anyway, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. It sparks a few memories. You know, Adam Schiff coming out with these whistleblowers, and he never actually, I don't think he really said who they were. Do you remember that? He would just come out with information that he said he got from a whistleblower, and the information, it was never backed up. Then you've got Peter Strzok, you know, how much was he paid in recent years?
Oh, crazy. Yeah, because
like compensation. He got a couple of million or something like that. I don't know what that was for, but it seemed like a payoff to me. And then you've got, was it Horowitz?
Yeah, that's the Inspector General.
Inspector General, yes. So you've got his report as well, you know, where he found that the FBI, I think it was the FBI had breached like procedures in putting information out there, because they were just putting out information, you know, to say that Trump was guilty. And then we had Hillary Clinton, Durham. Was it to do with the Russia hoax? What was she found guilty of? They paid a fine.
Oh God, where do we start?
Oh, that was using money. Yeah, absolutely. Let's not go down that one. We won't come back up. But anyway, yeah, it is very interesting. It's good to see it all coming together. You know, with Adam Schiff and the leaking of classified information. Let's hope they do something about it. But you know, they were trying to get Trump on espionage charges, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
So you know, I wonder, given that, you know, the Brits were involved and other people, I wonder what they can do with all of that.
Oh yeah.
Has President Trump ever disclosed what the insurance policy that Peter Strzok talked about in his text message was really? Like, what was the insurance policy?
I think that was the other investigations, I think, is what they were kind of foreshadowing, I believe, but I could be wrong, but I think, you know, hey, we have, because I think, what do they find out? We have like 3 or 4 of these suckers going.
Well, I mean, you got Brennan as well and all them. So it just seems like it's all showing the crimes they committed, but also in accordance with a bigger connection of a grand, whatever you want to call it, a grand conspiracy of them all. And I would call it a coup, to be honest with you. They tried to overthrow a sitting president. They even tried to do the 25th Amendment. Remember Rod Rosenstein? And then now they're even talks with some of the people talking about that again right now, because they think President Trump's mentally unfit. Like they're trying for anything. They're pretty desperate. But Yeah, this all just seems to be compiling again. You know, if the public has to be like well informed for all this stuff to keep coming out. So it's like they're just it's like Groundhog's Day almost, reliving all this.
Right? It's kind of got to be. I mean, this is just one from the drop. Adam Schiff and Glenn Simpson in their Forrest Gump-like encounter in Aspen. Remember, they bumped into each other in Aspen, and we know Glenn Simpson with the Fusion GPS stuff. He was the founder there. One of the key and most controversial figures in the Russia collusion scandal. Both men insisted to me through spokesmen that they met only briefly in July. You know, they had this Forrest Gump-like, meeting. You know, they weren't talking about how to get rid of Trump or anything like that. But, as I read some of these, right, deep state actors within the intelligence community concocted a false narrative that was used by Congress. So you have the intelligence community teaming up with Congress to take out a president, okay? And then I'm going to ask you guys a question. Military intelligence, what is state secrets and how is it upheld in the Supreme Court? What must be completed to engage military intelligence over the other three-letter agencies? I don't know. Maybe showing that they're all teaming up to go against the president and they're all corrupt? Maybe. That could be one answer, maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think that would be, pretty spot on right there. So a lot of this stuff this guy did, I mean, was so bad. And guys, the worst part about it for me is, and I know I harp on this a lot, and a lot of people maybe don't see it that way, but the phone call, right? He made a phone call to who? He made a phone call to Zelensky, right? And in that phone call, he says, "Oh, Biden, did this. You maybe should look into that." Well, what was he foreshadowing? The corruption that we now know did absolutely happen. So all this stuff about the phone call is what they didn't want to be exposed, because at the end of the day, we have absolute proof from Poroshenko's own words that, the prosecutor, quote, even though we didn't have any crimes, even though I couldn't find anything this guy did wrong, I especially asked him for his resignation yesterday. No, it was the day before. That's me holding my end of the bargain. And Joe Biden says, I agree. Right? So in that phone call, he called who? Zelensky. Well, guess what? What is that, guys? It's you have the Constitution, and then you have what is it? The agreements between two countries. I forget what they call those things there. We have one of those with Ukraine. Treaty, yeah, a treaty, or I think it's something more. We have U.S. treaty, I think, or we have something with them basically that we should be sharing intelligence about fraud with Ukraine. And so I'm just amazed that nobody in President Trump's defense team even cited that. But it was done under Bill Clinton in 1993, and I don't know that treaty was the word. Let's see. Anybody in the chat got that word for me? Lisa, you got that word? You know what word I'm talking about? An agreement between two countries. And thanks for the raid over there, Red Pill.
To share legal.
Yeah, to share legal. Oh God, what is the word?
Oh, legal. MLAP. Multi something. MLAP. I just know it's MLAP. I think.
Green.
Where there's share legal information. I'll tell you in a second.
This is gonna
MLAP.
Treaty. What was it called? Not the Budapest Memorandum. It's like one step under like the Constitution for the states. It's like that high as far as
Magna Carta.
Not a Magna Carta, not a compact, not reciprocity. Oh my God!
I don't know.
I'm just
having. To you.
Yeah. So basically, we had it with that country, which is basically what it says is that we should be sharing information in fraud back and forth with Ukraine. USA treaty, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was a treaty, but anyway, there's no reason in any way, shape, or form they should have went after President Trump about that. And clearly all the things that came to follow was the cover up, and that's usually what gets the people is the cover up, not the crime. Yep. Lisa?
It's MLAT, a Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty, which is an agreement between two or more countries for the purpose of gathering and exchanging information. in an effort to enforce public and criminal laws. Mutual legal assistance request is commonly used to formally interrogate a suspect in a criminal case when the suspect resides in a foreign country. Is it that one?
Might be a treat. I'm just trying.
There's, they say there's multilateral MLATs.
Bill Clinton signed it in 1993. Agreement. Let me see. With Ukraine. The hell was that? This did not sign agreement. Elimination of nuclear armed prevention of proliferation of mass destruction. Budapest Memorandum. Now, and I've cited this so many times in the past. It's that's why it's killing me right now. But okay, we can move on. We can move on to
maybe
other
someone
things.
in the chat room.
I'm looking and I'm seeing, it might be a treaty. It might have been a treaty, peace treaty, might be something like that. But I mean, but it was 1993. Bill Clinton signed it with Ukraine, and it's basically said that they would share all knowledge of fraud and corruption with us, and we would with them as well.
When the Ukraine was corrupt.
Oh yes, and it still is. All right, so we got that one. Well, seeing as we're talking a little bit about this, and I apologize for the folks who saw the show yesterday, but I have to bring this up because it's going to be coming back, and I'll show you guys why in a minute. So I'm not going to replay this, but here we got Eric Swalwell, and it's kind of good that I don't really want to see this, go back and forth. But Swalwell's on the bed here with some chick, and there is some dude here recording that's a different person. And excuse me, you have a person recording who's the point of view here. Swalwell's legs, some prostitute, and some other guy right here. So at least 3 people in the room. Now I don't know if you guys noticed as well, but Blondie came into the picture and then walked in, and I think she even said something. There's no sound or whatever that I see, but she came in, said something, and then turned back around, and then you can actually see her go back out through the mirror there. So we got 5 people in this room here, and this is Eric Swalwell, and this does not look good for Mr. Swalwell. Mac or Lisa, are you guys, are you feeling bad for Eric Swalwell?
Not at all. I think he's had enough bang bang with fang fang.
He just announced he's resigning from Congress.
Oh, are you serious? Come on, I didn't get there yet.
Just in time. Just in time.
That's probably his most important view.
Yeah. And he's suspending his campaign for governor. Oh, shucks.
Oh, guys. Eric Swalwell, I am suspending my campaign for governor. To my family, staff, friends, and supporters, I'm deeply sorry for mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious, false allegations that have been made. That's my fight, not a campaign's. Oh, that is so sweet. Mac, if you wanna key up that little short video, I'll play that in a second, but I got another 1 or 2 to come. But Lisa, you want to say something on top of that one?
Yeah, he made a video where he apologized to his wife, and I was thinking, how many times have you had to apologize to your wife? Because there's a number of accusers, and they're not people that I've heard of before, But interesting is it's Steve Hilton that's going for his position as well. Steve Hilton, from Fox News. And Steve Hilton, who used to be the strategic advisor to British Prime Minister called David Cameron.
Ooh,
did you know that?
Was he a baddie?
Steve Hilton. He was just
no. I mean the other
strategic...
guy. David Cameron. Was he as bad as Starmer and these clowns?
I think he was probably a little bit better, and I'm surprised I'm saying it. But he was the one that gave Britain Brexit, allowed the vote.
Here it
which
is,
you wouldn't
guys.
expect.
Yeah. This is so funny. So at least worst age tweet ever. Oh, to my Republican colleagues. Oh God, isn't this poetic? This is like poetic justice. Chef's kiss, some would say. To my Republican colleagues, sexual assault victims deserve justice. Do the right thing. Go sign that petition. Deeply sorry, blah, blah, blah. Okay, buddy.
Isn't it just the people pointing the fingers are the ones that are actually the people guilty of it? It's crazy.
Seems that way. It's proving out to be like that, unfortunately. But, so the first thing is, for the mistakes I did make, I'm aware of efforts to bring an immediate expulsion vote against me and other members. Expelling anyone in Congress without due process being made is wrong. But it's also wrong for my constituents to have me distracted from my duties. Therefore, I plan to resign my seat in Congress. I will work with my staff in the coming days to ensure they're able, in my absence, to serve the needs of the good people of the 14th Congressional District. The 14th? 14th. That's just me adding that one on. But, oh, God, I'm going to be sad to see him go, actually. Not.
Well, let's not forget that he worked alongside Nancy Pelosi. Didn't she protect him as well?
It wasn't Nancy Pelosi mentioned in the Schiff document there that Tulsi, and this all seems to be connecting. Yeah.
Well, I
was going to say, wonder what other names are mentioned, because I saw Pelosi as well. I was like, this is going somewhere.
Remember when he got caught with Fang Fang, and she was the one that wanted him to keep his position, and he did. Did you remember?
Oh, I did. And Max shared this short one with us. I guess Swalwell felt like he wanted to go to the supermarket and share his thoughts and apologize to the folks of his local area. we always got to have a little. I mean, fart humor is always good, right? I mean, it's always good. But this guy, I am just so happy to see this clown gone. I am so happy to see him. And, another addition would be Shifty Schiff. That would be good. Now, did I play this already? Stop me if I did. It's not my favorite guy either, Lisa, but it's worth listening to, unfortunately. I'll see if I can do this maybe for the folks. If
they got a person that's interesting or has some good things to say, that's a guest. I'll listen to
it. we'll fight through it. Well, I've always just said he wants to be Tucker. He probably wants Tucker too, but he probably wants to be Tucker so bad. But here we go.
There's just this feeling there's a feeling in DC that permeates. There's I'm untouchable. I can do whatever I want, right? And I think that needs to be knocked down hard.
I think you'll see at least 2, if not 4 members of Congress expelled this week.
Wow. Can you unpack that? Is it who's that? Is it going to be Sherflusis McCormick? Wow. Can you unpack that?
Oh yeah,
members of if not 4 members of Congress expelled this week.
Wow. Can you unpack that? Is it who's that? Is it going to be Sherflusis McCormick? Right.
That's right. Corey Mills will likely have one against them, and then Tony down in Texas.
And then Swalwell. So it'll be
Swalwell. That's right.
So it'll be scalp for scalp. So 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats.
2 and 2. That's right. So I think Swalwell is almost certain to happen. Whether or not the rest happen, we'll see.
Okay. There's just this feeling that.
All right, stop there, Zesty. But that's interesting, guys. I mean, we've not seen much of this, or I can't remember any time when you had multiple members of Congress kind of going bye-byes. But as he did mention, I thought it was funny. It's 2 and 2. So basically the thing gets kept even until they replace them. Lisa, any comments you want to make on this? Then we'll go to Mac. I try to switch it each time here, but
just a memory. Didn't Congress vote on keeping the names of the people where they'd paid off fines or settlements for sexual assaults, keeping it secret still to this day?
Sure did.
But no, go ahead.
Mr. Mack, any comments on this one?
Was Lisa talking about the secret slush fund for all the accusers that they?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering. I find this is like cleaning house. This is great. Getting rid of more of the riffraff that does not need to be in there. You know, we still know that there's rhinos in the House. And then we've got Eric Swalwell and Sheila. I don't even really recognize her, but that's great. And I'm sure, you know, Ilhan Omar's on the horizon, AOC, and some others. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's no longer in her seat. She's got a Trump. Yeah, well, she's got a Trump person in now, just got elected into her seat, right?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean,
so,
you know, turncoat or playing a role, I don't know. I know you guys lean towards the first, and, you know, you very well could be true. I don't know. Like, we'll see how it plays out. But, you know, even this guy, Langworthy, says he votes to release it. He wanted everybody to know. I don't care what party you're in or what title you hold. I stand with the American people for transparency. So, you know, District of New York, I didn't even, you know, look to see if this guy is Democrat, Republican. I don't care. But, you know, basically the fact that he's saying that is great, right? But of course, not all of them.
Yeah, and it makes them above the law. You know, anybody else would be charged and charged publicly for sexual assault. But it means they're above the law, right? Nobody says anything, and there's a slush fund there for people to get paid off. It's a joke, really.
It's disgusting. And, you know, it's, you know, I often talk about my buddy Marauder, who lives a state over from me, who's a little bit older than me, and reminds me, and I remind you guys that, you know, this whole thing about Congress and Senate was never meant to be, oh, hey, I'm going to be a congressman, and I'm going to be a millionaire, or I'm going to be a multimillionaire. It was going there to do your time. And, you know, the guy that ran the hardware store, he'd go run for Congress and do his time and come back. And guess what he would do when he came back? He'd run the hardware store, right? You got these people like Nancy Pelosi comes in with I don't even know what her net worth was when she came into politics in, the 60s? But then sharply, you know, of course, with the voting, with the betting or the stocks and whatnot, you know, she's upwards of anywhere between, I've seen 120 and $200 million. So don't really know exactly how far that one goes, but for sure, these people are making a racket out of it, big time racket, which is not good. Let's see. I thought this was interesting, and, you know, I maybe it's a stretch, Mac and Lisa. I don't know if you guys had seen this one, but I got two of these in a row that could be stretches, and therefore, if they are, I will absolutely give you guys that caveat. Rudy Giuliani and so many people have been posting about this guy recently. And again, where were all the documentaries within 5 years of his death, within 10 years of his death, within 15 years of his death? We started seeing them 2018, 2019, and then we saw a movie, and then we saw a miniseries, and then now there's another one out. So I went over to, 823 timestamp, and I said, all right, well, what does 823 say? 823 didn't have anything in there related to that, but it talked about check code line 1183, so I popped that one in, and who knows, again, maybe it's stretchy, but I think there's a couple things in here. Treason updates, follow the pen, which we're going to get to in a little bit. We got some from Miss Catherine Harridge, follow the pen. Sky event we had recently. Push to divide is strong. I would say that is very pertinent right now. Think pre versus post 2016 election. Why? Stay together, stay strong. We the people. Ending with JFK, not the junior. So again, I'll give you that caveat as to it may have been stretchy. What do you think, Mac? Little on the Stretch Armstrong point, or what?
I mean, it's whatever information you can pull from a decode is how I operate. But if it doesn't really point to anything conclusive after that, I just kind of move on at this point. And I've never looked for Rudy for any comms.
Me neither, yeah. That was new. I did it on the spot. So, Lisa, I'll get your comment, too. I'm going to show you one more that may be a stretch. I don't know. Again, now we're going with the CIA here. The first American intelligence network on record was a secret group in Boston known as the Mechanics. Almost 250 years ago today, one of the mechanics, Paul Revere, undertook the most famous tactical warning in U.S. history. And then it says post 143 timestamp, which would be, 13 1343, I believe it would be. So you add 12 for military. And again, what are we talking about? What have we been talking about in the last couple of weeks? A lot of people that are pushing people to, oh, Trump's doing this, Trump's doing that. Nope, 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 nope. They attempted to infiltrate, repackage, and rebrand as their own. I think Lisa has a very perfect name for them called binfluencers, B-I-N, binfluencers. Profit vehicle, destroy through misinformation, absorb the confused, reroute traffic to other platforms. Action was needed. Prevent false decodes, misinformation, kill targeted infection prior to expansion. Be careful who you follow. Simple, non-direct statements made. Be careful who you follow. Some are profiting off this movement. Message sent, message received. Those guilty immediately reacted predictably. Time, da-da-da-da. House cleaning. Attempts to divide, we responded. House cleaning, heal core, important to clean prior to next events. The choice has always been yours. It will always be yours. Not a game, not a popularity contest. This is life, freedom, together, we the people, where we go one. Time to move on. Dark to light, attacks will only get worse. Truth is freedom. Truth is logic. Stay the course. So again, could be stretchy, but that is a CIA post, and that is the stamp that would concur to that one. Lisa, what do you think? Were they very stretchy? I mean, I think they were on the stretchy side of things, but who knows?
Oh, it's relevant. It's relevant. I'm more thinking about when you talked about JFK, and I was trying to think, it just completely slipped my mind. What was the announcement he was going to make the day before he was assassinated? JFK Senior.
He was going to run for Junior, right?
No, Senior.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
To do with Israel, I think.
Yes. And actually, Lisa, what were almost every one of those redactions that came out of the released unredacted JFK files? What did almost every one of those say?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was Israel. I'm pretty sure they were Israel.
Yeah. And I don't think that did we get all of the information or not? I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, and you can even go back to the Paul Revere thing. Was he even the guy that was on the, giving the messages?
I find that post interesting, the mechanics. And then, it's a secret intelligence network and resistance group founded by Paul Revere and other skilled artisans in Boston beginning in around 1774. They were called the Liberty Boys. But just very, you draw that from today into that date and what we're experiencing, what would be the symbolism that the CIA is pointing that out. It's 250-year anniversary, pointing out, what are we going through right now? Do we have intelligence behind the scenes trying to help out? Does President Trump have a pretty firm hold on his intelligence agencies and law enforcement? It would seem so. So, I wonder.
Well,
and mechanics in cards as well, like playing cards, how you mechanic the
card
deck.
Mechanics.
Yeah, you mechanic the cards to the players that are at the table, and what are being laid to each opponent. So I think about it as well on that level.
Maybe it's the mechanics of how things work. How the network works. You mentioned the CIA. We have Israel in the news. We have the Pope in the news as well. And then, there's some interesting connections there to everything, I think. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm loving it.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Lisa? The Rothschilds?
Ooh.
Well, I'm basically, not just one group, because I think we've got to realize that the network is pretty solid, and it's like, the Rothschilds are part of it, but it's what that network encompasses. You mentioned the CIA. We have the Catholic Church, we have the Jesuits. And when you look at the Jesuits and all of what they're connected to, and the Freemasons, You know, they're all connected. They're all connected. And when you think about the mechanics of how things work, it's like when you put all of those together, it's like they're like, I don't know, what do you call it when something's got mass coverage, you know, of everything. Society, finance, business.
Encompassing, all encompassing.
Yeah, all encompassing.
Yeah, it's so deep.
Cool.
Matt, go ahead, buddy.
I was just going to say, you mentioned the CIA, and then there was the announcement, I think, from Marco Rubio that Trump has agreed to get rid of the NGOs.
Oh, let's not get ahead of the.
Okay, all right. Well, that's an avenue. That's an avenue of that CIA stuff. Go ahead.
We will definitely get to that one in a little bit, but just, a little bit more flame to the fire here. Allegations of sexual misconduct, leaking sensitive information, and more. According to this 2017 report, Redacted noted Swalwell has been the source of a lot of leaked information and had to be counseled to be more careful. Oh, hey, Eric, yeah, see when you got this like good-looking chick over here, and like you're like a 3, and like a 9 comes up to you, and she seems all interested. Yeah, no, she doesn't really. She doesn't want you, buddy. Oh, and that classified information. You shouldn't be talking about that with anybody. That's a no-no. Like, oh my God, Lisa, is that you?
Yeah, and all of that pillar talk. You know, and the fact that they decided not to prosecute, right? Didn't they?
Oh yeah.
And nothing came of it. Nothing came of it at all.
Nothing.
Which is more than slightly annoying, And now we're talking about it, and he's resigned. How coincidental,
Well,
because it happens like that in the UK. Before somebody gets charged or whatever, when they start coming out with all the information, they either die or they resign.
Just because this is nothing new, but just because this is what I mean, guys. Like, you can harass somebody and not have to be violent and not have to, don't threaten people. I would say never threaten anybody, because just remember, when you see somebody assaulted me, that's me saying to you, like, Lisa, I'm going to kick your butt. Like, that's assault. Just so you guys know, if you ever say something like that to somebody, they can get you on assault. The hitting is the battery part. So this would be, let's critique this afterwards.
So, Congressman, you referred to Elon Musk as a fascist at some point and alluded to him being a national security threat. Do you see that more of a national security threat, you sleeping with a Chinese spy, than transparency in the federal government? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? What's Fang Fang think of that? What are you doing? This is the Golden State Warriors, what's fascistic about exposing government corruption? I mean, I know you're just at dinner now with a bunch of lobbyists. They're buying you a bunch of booze, and that's awfully nice. I know you were talking about, maybe finding somebody else because you only like to fuck people that are 10s. I just heard that one too.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that quote. Did you see too? Right when he got over here and he's tried to make it look like whatever's going on here, and this little skinny little worm gets in his ear and says, "What the F are you trying to do here?"
What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? What's Fang?
He says, "What the F are you doing?" It's like, dude, he's doing journalism. He did throw the F word, but he did also say those words.
But he's supposed to be part of the fake news media, the good old boys. You're not supposed to do that.
They're not used to getting questions like this, and I just love to see. Where is it? Right as you get to this look, as he's walking out. Oh no, it was back here. He had that one right there. That look, like you don't know what to do with your face. Like, I want to punch this guy, but I don't want to look like I'm pissed off, and I'm trying to keep an even keel face. I love it. You piece of crap. Oh God, I'm loving to see this, and I can't wait to see some more of it. And I really do feel like we're going to see a lot more of it coming up shortly. So we will get there. We will get there. Let me see. Oil tankers. We'll get to that stuff a little bit later. Yeah, let's go with. And just before we get into the NGO talk, I thought this was an interesting post as well. Elon Musk is saying the Soros organization has taken over Hungary. And you've seen President Trump, basically telling everybody make sure to vote for Viktor Orban and whatnot. But of course, we have the slime balls that are going to try to, get in any way they can edgewise. So here's this one. Lisa, you got something?
Yeah, the new guy that's just taken over, that's just won the election. He said not Orban. No, he didn't win.
No.
And Orban's been in office for like 16 years.
Oh wow!
So there was going to be a change, and this new guy who's got an interesting history, by the way. He's already said that he is not going to call Trump. But if he gets a call from somebody in Trump's office, then he'll answer the call. He's also said that he's going to support giving Ukraine the 90 billion or something like that. I don't know how much money it is from the EU, that money that they haven't got, and all kinds of other things. And Ursula von der Leyen is going to speak to him regarding migrants, because Hungary never took in any migrants, and they were being fined €1 million, I think it was per day, literally, yes, that they don't take in migrants. So she's going to speak to him about that, apparently. It'll be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And yes, he seems like a puppet of some sort,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's see. Is this all right? So,
are we going to cover Hungary, or are we going to wait?
Yeah, I'm just going to touch on this just a little bit. Yeah, we're going to cover a little bit.
I was going to talk about the election itself. Go ahead.
Yeah. Absolutely. You definitely hit it up right after this. But just, again, remember, who wanted what? Who wanted who to win? Who does it help? Who does it benefit?
Leaders in France, Germany and the EU were swift to welcome Magyar's win, pointing to a new direction in relations between Budapest and Brussels.
The people of Hungary have spoken, and they have reclaimed their European path. It is a victory for fundamental freedoms.
Not everyone, though, welcomed the result. Magyar has indicated he will pivot away from Russia, calling Moscow a security risk. Reports earlier on Monday suggested Russia would not congratulate Magyar, though later Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Moscow was ready to build relations with the new government. The news was welcomed, however, in Ukraine, raising expectations that Kiev could gain access to €90 billion in EU funds that had been blocked by Viktor Orban.
How about that? So, who does it benefit, guys? What is she saying? It's so, not everyone's welcome the results, but she says it's a victory for fundamental freedoms, Lisa. That's what Ursula said there. That sounds like it's a win for the deep state bad guys to me.
Guess who else had something to say about it? Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. They were celebrating it. So go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah,
there's your answer.
It just seems like a complete setup. He was, I think they'd counted about 37% of the votes, and he was one person of having a majority in the parliament. Yeah, it was pretty much a landslide from the beginning. And George Soros, he's been banned. Viktor Orban talked a lot about George Soros. He set up some organizations there long time ago and was basically controlling things. And I think he was banned from Hungary itself, and that will probably not stand anymore. Right. I think maybe a university and some think tank organization and stuff. But Mike, when you just mentioned Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, it's like they got their man.
Yeah, that's basically what they're saying. And I started looking into just Hungary's election process. It's very different than you would think. You know, it's a parliament of people that elect their candidate, and it has to win with a 2/3 majority in the first round. If no candidate achieves this, the second round is held between the top two candidates, where a simple majority is sufficient for victory. But there has been in the past election controversy. I do know that because you can lobby and so forth. So there's the fake news in Hungary. George Soros, not himself, but the Open Society Foundation, have provided financial support to at least 153 organizations in Hungary between 2016 and 2023. They're described as highly politicized entities engaged in lobbying, media influence, and legal challenges against government policies rather than neutral civil society actors. So it's about, I think it said $89.5 million was directed to Hungarian civil society groups during this period, with a significant portion, 17 million, allocated in 2022, the year of Hungary's parliamentary elections. So it's very interesting following this. So I know that Orban's been there for 16 years. I wonder still if it was like a paid committee, a paid parliament, in the way it was voting. But who knows? But the bad guys did get their person, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it highlights it, perfectly. It shows, how these people work. It shows, you got Elon saying, hey, they taken it over. And we can see how the popular person, basically is one of the most popular presidents.
And they are claiming some fraud, in Hungary after these elections. I don't know where it's going to go, but they are claiming that there is fraud in it.
Unfortunately, he already what do you call it, conceded. So I don't know if he can,
Yeah, but it is interesting the fact that that this guy was like one person off a parliamentary majority after so few votes, like 37%.
Yeah.
Do you not think that's a bit, it's a bit much?
And I think Elon's probably onto something with, the source organizations taking over Hungary. I'm sure it's about the money. And then you got to think about Orban. He was against Ukraine, giving money to Ukraine, and Ukraine was holding Hungary hostage, I think, for energy. So, yeah.
And,
we got you.
And then the fact that he's kind of thinking about Russia like it's the old USSR, in the way that he's treating Russia, So Russia have been supplying Hungary with fuel, and I think even Trump made an exception for Hungary getting their fuel from Russia, which they really do need, But this guy's saying Russia's the enemy, and it's like, okay, mate, sounds like you're stuck in the past, maybe,
Yeah, definitely. Let me read a couple of these Rumble rants. And Flying Phoenix dropped a $1 Rumble rant, says Smith-Mundt Act of 1948. Yeah, and we kind of laugh about that, but it's like, do we want them to get rid of the Smith-Mundt Act? Yes, we do in general, but if we do, then there's certain things that they legally couldn't be doing. Think the Operation 17 and the team. So that's kind of like a weird thing there. But thank you for that. And then B1876 dropped a $5 Rumble rant, says Mike and the Mechanics. Yep, and I wonder if they're from Boston too, but thank you, B1876. And Warrior Mima dropped a $5 one, says, hey, Space Shot, remember the series or movie called The Mechanic starring Charles Bronson? Now, Lisa, was he English, Charles Bronson, the actor?
No,
I always thought he was American.
No, definitely not. I watched the film the other day, and it looks like Charles Bronson, but I'm not sure it is. I don't even know if he's still alive. But Jason Statham did a film called The Mechanic.
Yes, I like that one too.
Yeah,
that one's a good one for sure. And he was like a fixer type of guy.
The Mechanic. How about Rounders? Remember that poker movie?
Oh yeah, Matt Damon and And what's his name there? Yeah.
Norton,
the Russian guy. Oh wait.
There's Norton in there. What's his first name? But yeah, and then the Russian was
Petty KGB. I just can't remember his name. He's a very famous actor.
Malkovich.
Yeah, John Malkovich. That was a good one too.
Yeah, he's English. He's English.
But Norton was the mechanic in that, and they would go around and do the hustle. They would hustle different card games, and he would always try to deal Matt Damon winners. And sometimes Matt Damon was too honest and fold them because he didn't want to get caught. It's a great move.
And Lisa, the reason I asked about Charles Bronson, because I think that English actor did a movie, and I think it was called Charles Bronson, but I think that one in particular was about like one of the most violent inmates in the UK prison history. Did you ever hear of that or see that?
No, absolutely. It was played by Tom Hardy.
Yes.
If I remember rightly.
Yep.
Tom Hardy. Yeah, it was good. It was good, but he's real. He's real. You know, I think he's been in like solitary for a very long time. You know, I can't remember the crimes that he committed, but that's him.
Michael Peterson, known as Charles Bronson. I wonder why.
Yeah.
I mean, because all the movies, Charles Bronson was killing a bunch of people, but maybe that's why they gave him that name. But yeah, what did he do? Leading to first prison sentence of 7 years, psychiatric hospital, revealed himself to be a pedo before he can kill a man. Okay, interesting. Yeah, but so, yeah, we got off on movie tangents here. I don't know where I was going. Okay, I'm going back to NGOs. Okay, here we go. This is my my flag in the sand here. Let's see. Little Marco.
The United States has spent billions of dollars over the helping health strategies all across the world.
This is just a crappy. Mac, Lisa, you're gonna have to just try to listen a little deeper. I'm gonna raise it up for the folks, but it won't get any louder for you guys, I don't think. So here we go.
The United States has spent billions of dollars over the helping health strategies all across the world. What we learned over time, and especially after coming here, that oftentimes, and I'm oversimplifying it, but this is an accurate description. What happened is we would go to a country and say, we're going to help you with our healthcare needs. Then we would drive over to Northern Virginia somewhere, find an NGO organization, give them all the money, tell them go to this country and do their healthcare program for them. That NGO would then take about some percentage of that money for their overhead and administrative costs. And by the time it got down to it, the host country, very little influence imposed on them, and only a percentage of the overall money ever actually reached patients that we were trying to help because of costs. This makes no sense. So why are we hiring American and international NGOs to go into other countries and run healthcare systems that are parallel and sometimes in conflict with the healthcare systems of the host country? If we're trying to help countries, help the country. Don't help the NGO to go in and find a new line of business. So that's what the model that we're breaking. We're not doing this anymore. We are not going to spend billions of dollars funding the NGO industrial complex while close and important partners like Kenya are either have no role to play or have very little influence over how healthcare money is being spent. Bottom line is, if you want to help a country, work with that country.
I love it. Let me get the volume
Round of
down.
applause.
Yes.
The room goes nuts.
Right, you would think, but I mean, it's just so ripe for fraud, and I'm gonna end up pulling up that video I had asked you to grab earlier, Lisa. I know it's right at the bottom there, but you give it's just common. It's common, right? If I want to give Lisa, a bunch of money, why would I give it to Mac? You know what I mean? Hey Mac, here's $100 million. Make sure Lisa gets that, okay? And it's just like, yeah, obviously in a person-to-person basis, it would be different. But when you're dealing with these organizations and the overhead, what do they say? Like, if 10% of an organization, a place gets 10% of what it is, that's like a good nonprofit. And so it seems to me all these nonprofits are stacked with multimillionaires and people that are just making crap loads of money, Absolutely. You guys want to make any comments on that before I bring up that little video we discussed earlier, Lisa?
Yeah, well, looking into USAID, it gives one an idea of how this money is used, and there is a lot of money, that goes to the NGOs. And what did I say last week? I think the value of their assets in the US alone is like 14, is it trillion? Or so? Anyway, it's a lot. It's a ridiculous amount. And when I think about that really high number, I just think, well, that's all taxpayer money. You know, you could pay down on your debt.
Right.
With all of that money that's been given to them. And, you know, you look at some of these countries where you have the NGOs and it's like they're living like kings, and very little money actually goes to the causes. And, you know, because there's no tax and things like that. And it's just available, you know. So the British government, I think they put aside like 9% of GDP every year, and it's just given out, and there's no accountability, no nothing, you know. So it's been a way for people to fund themselves or launder money back to themselves as well.
Oh, and I was just playing. Let me refresh
weaponize politics. You know,
oh yeah,
they pay off. You know, you're a Democrat. We'll show you this system where you can make money. You participate in it. All you have to do is you'll gotta vote Democrat, whoever we tell you to vote for. That's also another way they're using it. Color revolution. You know, all kinds of stuff going on.
Acting weird again. YouTube, the screw tube's acting weird for me. But Lisa, what was that video that I was playing? And I'm going to find it again here and play it some more. But this video that was playing, what is this?
Oh, that's just some petty cash that the Red Cross have hanging around, you know, in boxes, and you know, being an organisation that can walk into war zones and no one's allowed to stop them, and set up by the Rothschilds, you know, Red Shield, Red Cross, and the list goes on. I'll let Mike take it from there.
Oh yeah, Mac. let me set the table.
Yeah,
here.
It's like, look at who set it up. You know, who do you think set it up?
Yeah,
and the symbolism will be their downfall. You know, remember that red cross. Are there other countries that have a Red Cross?
Ooh, what would that mean?
And is there the Red Cross and the Red Crescent?
Ooh.
Yeah, Lisa, what is that?
The Arabic, the Red Crescent is the Red Cross, but in Arabic countries or countries that speak Arabic, I believe. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Look it up.
Oh, so
I'm being serious.
They do this in like Middle Eastern countries?
With a red crescent, yeah.
Yeah, and it has a star sometimes right on it.
Trying to see if
or is it just the crescent?
Red Crescent is definitely like a part of the Red Cross, without a doubt.
Absolutely wild. And, you know, some people say, oh, this is fake or whatever. And it's like, well, who took the time? Who decided that they were going to make a room? I always assumed maybe it was like a boat or something. But who's going to make these rooms and stack up all this cash just to, you know, who would have thought of this, you know, fake it? Like, who would have thought of this? Nobody. Like, doesn't make any sense.
Remember COVID and the boat, the Red Cross hospitals off the coast? Were they laundering money into the United States? I don't know. But seeing that, my mind goes there.
ICRC there, Lisa, right? Too ICRC.
If you take that much money or appropriate money, then you're going to need somewhere to put it.
Yeah, like what is it? Okay, buddy.
Breaking news: Texas Representative Tony Gonzalez to retire from Congress.
Ooh, there's number 2.
Yeah, he's the other one, isn't he? What
Republican
did he do?
out of Texas, I think sex allegations or something.
Yeah.
He was the one that they said his girlfriend committed suicide or something like that, I want to say.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. She sets herself on fire.
Really? Oh my, that's a bad way to go, huh? If you're going to kill yourself, would that be like the last way I would ever do? Oh my word. But yeah,
so that's probably one of the most painful.
Right? Like, geez, why would you? All right, so this one here that we talked about, I think it had listed in it. Tony Gonzalez, sexual misconduct allegations, including an affair with a former staffer who later died by suicide. Corey Mills, allegations including sexual misconduct, domestic violence, campaign finance violations. Swalwell, we just did over. Sheila Sherfilis McCormick. I don't even know who this woman is. Indicted for funneling millions in federal disaster funds into her campaign. What a piece of crap. That is just bad, guys.
Oh, yes. I now remember.
You look like? That's what I want to know.
Black lady, I remember. I think they had glasses, yeah.
Gotcha, bitch. Let me see what this says. Is she gonna? Let's see.
She's the one that bought a ring with her spoils and took an official picture wearing the ring. And then when people started finding out, she did a little bit of Photoshop to try and get rid of it. It was something like a yellow diamond or something, you know?
Oh God, where did it go? It just had it.
Yellow diamonds ain't cheap.
Oh my word! Look at that. Let's see. I don't think there's any sound on this, but yeah, that's a rock. Oh my word! And just think, all these people are just getting themselves rich. I mean, geez, was that a Jaguar? Hope that's not solid gold. But geez, like this is exactly what our country's not meant to be. Like, how disgusting is this? Any sound on this thing? I'm not muted, so I don't know.
It's very low. It's very low.
But yeah, that's disgusting. And so she photoshopped it out, huh?
I also wanted to ask you about the investigation families. But this is also part of her congressional duties. Congresswoman, you know, you're under investigation for the congressional ethics for violation of campaign finances.
Yeah, sorry. We don't answer those kind of questions.
Valhalla in the background.
But yeah, I don't want to get too far off of this Red Cross because I feel like, and you know, I could be wrong, I feel like, you know, Red Cross is meaning more than that. And I feel like there's, I don't know, some very big family that, you know, has a name that kind of means that, or I don't know. What am I talking about, Mac? I don't even know.
The Rothschilds?
The Rothschilds. What does that mean? What does Rothschild mean? Red Cross?
I was looking this up today. I did a post about it.
Red Shield.
Yeah.
But they, you know, they set up the Red Cross, and from setting up the Red Cross, you get all of what the Geneva Conventions. Yeah, that's where they come from, and that's why they can go in and out of war zones without being challenged at all, and do things that other people can't do, including moving money across borders.
Started with the British Red Cross. Been closely associated with the British Red Cross since its inception in 1870, when Nathaniel, First Lord Rothschild, became one of the founding members of the Committee of National Society for Aid to the Sick and Wounded in War. Oh, what a valiant effort, guys. I mean, do you think they really set this up to do that? They were probably already thinking, wow, I can skim off these people so bad. Later serving as a chairman, key figure.
Loot and plunder.
Well, it's interesting that it's like, you know, here we've got some mechanics. So you have the Red Cross, you know, and then you have the UN that do the drives for raising money for disasters and things like that, and that money gets given to the Red Cross. Oh, nice mechanics, don't you think?
Yeah. You get the mechanic to give the person, just like Mac was saying, the mechanic gives the particular person the money or funds that they were basically wanting, or, you know, going to go to.
And don't you find it rather timely that the Pope all of a sudden's coming up?
Ooh.
And they met with Obama's crew, and they're kind of mentioning about him running for president, which I thought was outrageous, but I thought of, remember the Leonardo Spa satellite and the elections coming up and everything that's been going on that's tied to the elections. And it's just, and then who controls the Vatican? And then who controls the city of London, the Rothschilds? And it just, and then Obama was like a Rothschild's choice, and which leads to all these different comms and stuff. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about that, because it's like they have to bring them up to the surface in order to defend whatever it might come out. We'll say they're deflectors before the information comes out.
Well, you can. I'll just read you a couple of things here. So you mentioned the Pope, and you mentioned the Rothschilds. We talked about the CIA and all of that. So the Jesuits between 1773 and 1776, they were allied with the Jewish House of Rothschild. And they also created the Bavarian Illuminati. Between 1775 and 1815, they allied with King George III against America's Calvinist Revolution. The revolution succeeds, Constitution established, Washington as president, assassination of George Washington, the War of 1812, Andrew Jackson maintains America's Protestant liberty. Then the Jesuits, 1688 to 1717, England's glorious revolution of 1688, ending the Stuart dynasty, revival of occult Freemasonry, the Invisible Empire, Mormonism, the Sioux Indians and the Jesuits, 1848 to 1852, communism and Freemasonry, the Second French Revolution, and Napoleon III. Napoleon, the hidden hand, always had his hand in his jacket. I don't think that was just to keep his hand warm, and the list goes on. And then you can include the CIA and the KGB and all of these, these people,
I'm trying to grab your screenshots here too of the different ones. So if there's anyone in particular you want me to pull up here, I'm grabbing all of the photos here as we speak. All the ones that you dropped around 440, because they just don't map up. They don't match up good on the on Telegram, but because it basically makes them too big. So I have this one up here right now. I can pull up any particular one that you want me to grab in a better way.
Yeah, the one that says Jesuits, Vatican assassins, a history of crimes and capers.
Crimes and capers.
And then you could go to, I can't remember which Q post it is, who is the master? ? P equals C.
The one after 700 years?
It says Jesuits. Wait a minute. Sorry. I gotta go
Does it say who runs the world?
Jesuits, Vatican assassins, history of crimes and capers, a small insight. Allied with the House of Rothschilds, communism, Freemasonry, creating the Cold War, CIA and KGB, arms of Vatican intel agency, anti-Americanism, depression, anarchy, race war, foreign war, an invasion. FBI, Secret Service, Council of Foreign Relations.
I think that's the one I didn't. The only one I couldn't find. There we go. Here we go. No, I did have it. It was just hidden. Here we go. It was like his hidden hand. It was hiding on me. All right, here we go. But yeah, actually, and Lisa, just really quickly, I think it might be worth me playing just a second of this, and I think you'll agree, and then we'll get on to that. Take a listen to this for a second here.
In modern Jewish history, and it begins with 3 words. Dear Lord Rothschild.
Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet.
Why was it that this letter was sent by the Foreign Secretary to your great-uncle Walter?
It's an interesting question because it was primarily a movement from Eastern Europe.
Oh,
but they
really?
didn't clarify who was in charge of that movement. And in addition, it was, after all, in Great Britain. So they felt that the Rothschild family should be the one to whom it was addressed. And Walter...
Oh, rightfully so, Lisa, correct. I mean, who else would it go for, really? So just wanted to kind of put that one out there that, what was that called? The Balfour Declaration or Agreement or something along
Yes.
those lines?
Yes,
So,
yes.
But yeah, I
The
got your
creation
correct.
of Israel. You know?
Gotcha. Got your correct image up too, I think, here, and it should be full on the screen right here. So, Jesuits, Vatican assassins, a history of crimes and capers. And Lisa, wasn't there a point of time in which, like a very short period of time during the history of, say, like the popes and whatnot, where was it like 3 to 5 of them were turned over in short order, and some of them were actually admittedly poisoned? I don't remember
What,
the
the
years.
popes?
Yeah, the popes. So
Yes. I can't remember when, but I think if I remember rightly, isn't what's the guy in Cuba, Castro? So Castro comes from a family of priests, and I believe that they're Jesuit priests.
Yes,
So I'm just trying to show the connection between a lot of history and the Jesuits, and then you can bring it forward and to present day, and connection with Israel, and by the way, you must include Freemasonry as well. But yeah, very, very interesting. And then if you think about some of the connection, the dots that we just connected just now, then apply that to modern day. Yes. So how many politicians in Congress do IPAC fund or donate to?
Apparently everybody except for 1 or 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Who did JD Vance call from the ceasefire meeting?
Bibi, I'm guessing? I don't know.
Yes, he did in the middle of the meeting, and when he was on the plane, he did. There was an interview with an Israeli reporter who was reporting on his talks with JD Vance, and that's what he said.
And you've covered this in the past. Doesn't Netanyahu have Rothschild lineage?
Milikowski.
Or is that correct? Is that incorrect?
Well, he comes from Eastern Europe. We know that. Milikowski is his name. I wonder when he changed his name.
Milikowski. Apparently they all do. I mean, geez. Even the the Queen, and aren't they like German or something, or
yeah,
Bavarian or something?
Saxe-Goffer something is their last name, and they changed it to Windsor because they didn't want it to sound so German, which it was. And whole of Europe for royal families, they're all related.
Very German. I'm trying to pull up this article if I can find it. New York Times article was very interesting in that, and again, guys, I can't find any genuine proof that Bibi was at the White House on February 11th. I think is the date that we were given. Everything that I've seen so far has been a screenshot and a video showing a car pulling up, but it doesn't show him nothing solid. So I don't even know if he was there on that point, but where is it? I'm trying to find this and find this. So where is it? Here we go. Finally found it. Sorry, I had to do a lot of scrolling. I wasn't planning on pulling this up. And I don't know what they're going to allow me to show here on this without, paying on my phone. I can do it. If any of you guys read this article or seen this article, Mac or Lisa, how the Trump took the U.S. to war with Iran, absolutely fascinating. It is crazy.
Yeah, I've read some of it.
When have you ever seen any of that, Lisa, before in history? When they're literally flat outright going, oh, the president's basically being dragged into war because of Israel, and they mention Mossad, and I'm like, what the? Are you kidding me? I've never seen that, ever.
That's the new thing. They want to blame Israel. It's crazy.
it does.
It's blatantly false. The people are using what do they call confirmation bias when Trump's obviously had issues with Netanyahu and some of the things he's done. There is an alliance to Israel, and they are a huge component with the Iran situation where, if Israel stepped out of line, there could have been another nuclear war. So there's a lot at stake there. Now the Bibi wasn't there word that they kind of capitulated years ago, and we got Bibi 2.0, but that's always been a rumor. I always try to keep it.
I don't know.
Realistic, more
because,
realistic.
If you remember rightly, Marco Rubio did say that it was because of Israel that they went to war. Yes, remember that. He said that, and then he rolled it back afterwards. But he did say that. And Marco Rubio's pretty sharp, He doesn't often get things wrong. So you've got to factor that in. That did happen. And then, Trump from very early on, I think since the 1980s, has talked about going into Iran before he was even involved in politics and going in and let's maybe take that oil. I watched some early interviews with him. He's been talking about Iran for a very long time, I'm just trying to look at all aspects. And then, it's I did mention just now about Vance ringing Bibi Netanyahu from the talks that had just taken place. No, there's a lot of people there. He was on his phone a lot all the way through it.
But we weren't there.
And then completely separately from Israel, you got that information.
All right, so check this out,
Who
Lisa.
ran on the plane, aside from Trump?
I screenshotted a few of these so I can read some of these to you guys. The decision by President Trump to give the go-ahead. Now, guys, stop me if you see anything or anybody, wink, wink, there's a little hint for you guys. If you see anything or anybody that is like, oh, that's interesting. The decision by President Trump to give the go-ahead to join Israel in attacking Iran was influenced by a presentation by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in February, which again, I cannot prove he was even at the White House there, led to a series of discussions inside the White House over the following days and weeks. Series of Situation Room meetings, President Trump weighed his instincts against the deep concerns of his vice president and a pessimistic intelligence assessment. So they already know that, Trump's fighting with his intelligence committee. He's going a different route. They want something different, and Trump is fighting them. Here's the inside story of how he made the fateful decision. All right, next article here.
Where's this article from, first of all?
That's
what I want to know.
This is what I was showing you earlier that I couldn't show you the whole thing, so I took screenshots of it right here. Bing.
Oh, the New York Times. All right.
New York Slimes, okay? All right.
They were briefed by the head of Mossad, somebody Bernay, I think his name is, and there was they say that Israel is usually overdoes things. So remember how originally there was this push for regime change. And then later on, we were told there wasn't regime change, but that it seems could be wrong, but it seems like there was a push to try and get the people to overthrow the government. There's a lot of statements made along that vein, and there's also the arming of what they call revolutionaries in Iran as well. So that's where we got the 40,000 people have been killed and all of that kind of thing, But they were caught. A lot of them were caught, and there was material supposedly found that was telling them to shoot at the police. They were being given arms. and arms were given to the Kurds to give to these people as well. Now, the arms given to the Kurds, President Trump talked about that not that long ago, just a few days ago, he mentioned that, so that can get a tick mark.
And those weapons are, we're supposed to go to the Iranian people, so got used for something else, and he's mad at the Kurds, is how he left it.
At the
Kurds.
Kurds.
But it's interesting to use that method, that method of giving arms to rebels. Yeah, we've seen that done before, and I'm not sure it's worked in the past.
All righty then. All right, so again, I could pull up for you guys. I could try to pull up for you. It'd be just it'd be a waste of time essentially. But the 3 videos that I can find on YouTube, one's a still photo, and the other one's didn't even show him showing up essentially. But let me continue on and reading this. Black SUV carrying Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu just before February 11th, before 11 a.m. Israeli leaders been pressing for months to agree to a major assault on Iran, which we've seen for the last 30 years, right? Who was whisked inside with little ceremony. Oh, and out of view of reporters, primed for one of the most high-stakes moments in his long career. U.S. and Israeli officials gathered first in the cabinet room, adjacent to the Oval Office. Then, Mr. Netanyahu headed downstairs for the main event, a highly classified presentation on Iran for President Trump and his team in the White House Situation Room, which was rarely used for in-person meetings with foreign leaders. All right, Mac, Lisa, there's something showing. Articles. There's something showing on the screen that one of you guys should have remembered from the Q post. So take a look.
Haberman.
Wait, who's that? Who's Maggie Haberman? Wait, she's our girl.
She loves Trump. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she absolutely hates Trump. So yeah, so the point of this one, and so the point of this one is the fact that it's their girl. So there's actually in the drops, I could pull it up right here. I could pull up Maggie, and it's gonna be saying, "Hey, Maggie's our girl. If we want to, get a narrative out, we'll go to see Maggie." And you know what? I'm gonna do it just so you guys can see it.
Yeah, the way that the article's written, it's almost like there's too much information because it's written more like a Hollywood script. Where you describe the room, how it was set up, where the TV was, and all of that kind of thing.
The smell in the air.
He took one step, and then he took another, and he moved his arm, and it's a bit too scripty.
Here it is. So yeah, just specifically, guys. So remember, as they're trying to push a narrative, and I'll remind everybody out there, a narrative I've never seen pushed in the history of media. Show me where Israel is pulling United States into a war and Mossad is behind it. I will wait for that one till the day is done. Here we go. Quoting Podesta emails regarding Maggie Haberman. We have had a very good relationship with Maggie Haberman of Politico over the last year. We have had her tee up stories for us before and have never been disappointed. While we should have a larger conversation in the near future about broader strategy for re-engaging the beat press that covers Hillary, for this we think we can achieve our objective and do the most shaping, by going to Maggie. You are not safe. She didn't get off the damn boat. But again, this is just for me. I'm seeing exactly what I want to see right now. How do we ever have this conversation about there's one president being pushed, or there are a president of the United States being pushed by in any way, shape, or form by a foreign country, being Israel, right? We've never seen that before, and we need that blinking lights. Miss Lisa, go ahead.
Yeah, the Greater Israel Project, that's been Bibi Netanyahu has wanted to do that for quite some time, and apparently the story goes that he's asked every single president to attack Iran, and they all said no. Now, they may have had their reasons, but everybody from Obama, Biden, and Bush, and they all said no. And President Trump said yes. There's places where this is coming from. Yes?
Yeah, that's interesting legacy. The Bushes, Obama, and then the shadow president behind Biden.
And then Bill Clinton.
And then Iran, and then the uranium one, and possibly missing uranium in Iran, and Trump saying we can track it via Space Force, so that, telling us they can LiDAR the ground. I don't know how deep it goes, probably very deep, and they can identify nuclear material, which is pretty incredible. That's what I got from that communication when he truthed that.
Well, Bill Clinton, I think yesterday or the day before, put out a video, an audio of him talking about the Iran war, believe it or not, and diplomacy and all of that type of thing.
Oh, sorry, Lisa, can you repeat that? I just didn't hear what you said.
I said Bill Clinton put out an audio on YouTube.
Oh, really?
I may have it, actually, and it was talking about the Iran war, Israel, diplomacy, and where it's all going. But do you know what? I wasn't sure whether it was done by AI. There was no visuals, just the subtitles. That's it. Which I think is quite unusual for Bill Clinton, isn't it?
Yeah, he probably would show his face. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Miss Lewinsky. No, I did not. It depends on what your definition of the word was. It is? I mean, it's such sliminess going back and forth. But yeah, it's bananas. Now, Lisa, I had mentioned to you earlier, and then you came back in pretty short order, so it looks like you had already kind of been looking at it or researched what I was talking about. And admittedly, I saw this from the two the old birds over there at what is it? Promethean Action. That thing about the Swiss stuff, and you had dropped a link with some kind of Swiss fraud or stuff that was going on.
Yeah. So basically, you've got a very well-known Swiss private bank called Julius Baer, based in Switzerland. They're quite old. And you've got like the grandson of maybe the founder or something like that, whose name is Mike Baer. And he left Julius Baer and set up M Baer, which is a bank. And this bank has been basically, it looks like, the allegations that they've been laundering money from Russia, Venezuela, and Iran. And the way that they've been doing it is that this Mike Baer, he would do the transactions, and he would charge like millions in fees every single transaction that he did. And there were suspicions, and then I think they were going to be investigated or something like that. And then Scott Bessent came along and gave a lot of information to like the Swiss authorities, and I think the bank has been kind of struck off. But it's pretty serious, But they've been laundering. It looks like they've been laundering money, for Iran, Russia. And when I say this, I'm not necessarily saying the governments. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. You read a bit of that, or you might have to.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Says each time, and I hate these stupid things, each time he landed a six-figure commission for his tiny Swiss bank, Paul Michael von Mary was known to thunder through the open plan office close to Lake Zurich, loudly ringing a cowbell in celebration. The regular clanging reflected a lucrative seam his firm was mining. M. Baer Merchant Bank AG, which von Mary co-founded in 2018, would sometimes charge clients as much as 10 times the going rate to process payments, according to people familiar with the matter, in particular transactions that other banks wouldn't handle. But even as the firm was named among the, quote, most prosperous Swiss private banks last year by a local wealth management event, its end was near. The alleged facilitation of money laundering brought the Swiss minnow to the attention of the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who on the eve of war with Iran late last month effectively forced it to shut down. MBER has funneled over $100 million through the U.S. financial system on behalf of illicit actors tied to Iran and Russia, Besson said. The threat to cut the bank off from financial system was enough to overcome legal challenges to the Swiss regulators FINMAS earlier to liquidate the firm. The following is an account of how MBER managed to operate under the radar while, according to U.S. officials, being in some cases, quote, likely complicit in their clients' money laundering activities. It's ignominious, okay, I don't know how to say that. It undermines Switzerland's years-long efforts to clean up its financial system and prove that Zurich and Geneva no longer offer an easy haven for cash linked to crime. A spokesperson declined, So that was interesting. Now, also that was what was mentioned in there. They kept talking about some rule 311, and you guys know what came to my mind, right? When that came up, I thought of 11.3 when 11.3 comes in as a marker. But Mac, anything you want to say on this one? I'm gonna see if I can find that screenshot too, Lisa, about the other one. But anything you want to mention about this? I mean, this is huge, and it seems to me that they were kind of foreseeing some of the issues that were coming, and some of them they tried to maybe help alleviate, perhaps.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I was trying to see if there's any connections in the background. I wasn't able to pinpoint any off the top of my head, but or off the top of the computer. But I'm sure Lisa will.
Well, Section 311 of the USA Patriot Act authorizes the Secretary of the Treasury to require domestic financial institutions to take special measures against foreign jurisdictions, foreign financial institutions, classes of international transactions, or types of accounts deemed to be of primary money laundering concern. That's what Rule 311 is, or Section 311.
And where is it? What document?
It's part of the USA Patriot Act.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Confirmed it. All right. I saw it didn't give me the exact what it was, but it said the Patriot Act, and then we had the show.
So it just covers like record keeping and reporting, beneficial ownership information, payable through account controls, and correspondent account due diligence. So basically, it's like, they obviously banks have to do something called know your client. So they have to have all of the information on the client because they're checking. They should be doing things like making sure that their procedures are anti-money laundering and anti-terrorism financing. So AML and ATF. And also they have something called, I call it FATF, because it's FATF, and it's like financial, I can't remember what it's called, but that's another category that they have to check, so that they uncover laundering and fraudulent transactions, and banks can be fined a lot of money if they allow that type of thing to happen. I don't know if you remember, there was a bank called TB something, and it was a Canadian bank and also with branches in America. And they've been running accounts for the cartels, and they were fined something like $3 billion in one go, and then another amount. But there's a Canadian bank that's also in America, TBC or something like that. That was maybe about a year ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's I was just trying to think too, and you know what comes to mind too when I think of the Patriot Act comes 9/11. One of you guys have your notifications on? I don't think that's me.
I think it's me.
Okay.
I mute.
All right, yeah, just check because I'll go into them and see if I can find them out. But yeah, just kind of reiterating what Lisa was talking about here, and I'll pull it up. I want this stupid AI overview, but Section 311 of the U.S. Patriot Act. So basically, they were saying that he put this on essentially 2 days before the war began, or activated it. Section 311, the Patriot Act empowers the U.S. Treasury Secretary to designate foreign jurisdictions, institution, or transaction as primary money laundering concerns. It authorizes special measures ranging from enhanced record keeping to banning U.S. correspondent accounts to isolate them from the U.S. financial system. So to combat money laundering, terrorist financing by restricting access to the financial system. So if they're finding things like we were mentioning earlier about that company, and I guess one of them, Lisa, was I have a bank here in Rhode Island. It's Santander. And I guess one of them was like a Santander UK branch that was kind of under some questions or whatever.
Well, my bank, many years ago, you know, they were found to, and literally the branch that I was using, they were found to be hosting an account for Osama bin Laden.
The hell?
Literally in the middle of West London. It was like, get out of here. And it's like, yeah, they were, you know?
Wow. Yeah, and this is the one here. So it's Santander UK has recently faced intense scrutiny regarding its anti-money laundering controls. Since 2022, a fine of over 107 million euros from the Financial Conduct Authority for serious and persistent failures. The bank has also been subject to subsequent Section 166 reviews using independent investigators regarding ongoing concerns about its financial crime compliance. Now, again, guys, this is like at the end of the day, you got Besant in there, right? And it seems like he's acting on this stuff, whereas people before him, not only were they not acting on it, I bet you they were getting a piece of the pie. Right? Oh, we'll just let this continue and whatever, and you guys give us a kickback or whatever. But just like this, and with the Inspector General story earlier, there's new sheriffs in town, new people that are actually gung-ho to get these things actually fixed, it seems. So this is interesting.
It's funny because I just did a bit of research on banks that had allegations and complaints and lawsuits and things like that. And you'll hardly find a larger bank that is clean. Yes? There's hardly anybody that's got a clean sheet.
Wait, what about Deutsche Bank?
Sorry? Well, Deutsche Bank is clean. It's like, oh my God, you know? And they only got a little tap on the wrist from Bill Barr. You know, they just paid a fine and everybody forgot about it, you know?
Lisa, I'm sure you're wrong about that. How about, JP Morgan? I bet you they're good.
Oh, J.P. Morgan and Epstein and all his paying to traffic the women and payments to the women as well, or should I say the girls, right? Underage girls. And, who was it? Bank of America more recently, like last week, they were fined. And it just appears in the media once and then it just goes away. Just like that, Very
That's
interesting.
crazy.
But then, when you think about where banks come from, what they were doing, merchant banks, merchants of the sea,
Oh, yeah. All goes back
pirates,
to the sea.
slavery.
They are the pirates. Yeah, they are the pirates. But yeah, it all goes back to the sea and, Uniform Commercial Code, law of the land, or not of the land, law of the sea. While I got the microphone, let me thank Chula Firefly, who gifted a subscription to the channel. So thank you for that, Chula Firefly. And then G-Fonts dropped $1 Rumble Rant and says, interestingly, there's Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan, who is, quote, an independent journalist for a registered NGO whose main source of funding is the Open Society Foundation. And then he says, I forget Swan's NGO name. But thank you for the information and the rant there. And thank you, Chulafly. But, I mean, just again, the amount of money that these people, siphon, launder, make, the black budgets, all this stuff, like we could all be living in an absolute, everybody on this planet could be living in an absolute utopia and have every single thing you would ever wanted. But then again, you got to have some people like, Elon Elon Musk has got to be, I don't even know what he's worth now, 50 million, 100, 200 billion, whatever it is. But you got to have these people, and then you got to have the have-nots as well, right? And so, I truly hope that this thing gets balanced out, but it's going to be a really uphill battle, of course, to get that fixed. But if they took all the pushback money, the fight against good things, the fight against good things accounts or whatever you want to call them, like, just imagine all the black budgets and all the money laundering and stuff, that drug dealing and trafficking over the years and decades. And I mean, I bet you could pay off the friggin' every bill for every government in the world probably 10 times over, would be my guess. But it's just so bad. It's so fraudulent, unfortunately. Don't have a good marker on this one, guys. I just put President Trump True Social post at 4:54 p.m. So I don't know. We're gonna have to read it together, I guess. Oh, that's funny. Perfect timing. For those people that still read the failing New York Times, and despite the fact that Iran has been totally obliterated militarily and otherwise, you would think that Iran is actually winning, or at the very least doing quite well. But that's not true, and the New York Times know that it's fake news. Actually, hold on. New York Times knows that it's
fake news.
All right, fake news. When does this corrupt media outlet apologize for their lies and horrible actions against me, my supporters, and our country itself? Have they no shame? Have they no sense of decency? President DJT. And guys, did you see the Jesus post or the God post? Trump was posting himself as God, and then he removed it.
The original picture in there.
I have the original. Yeah, they took. It's a manipulated photo. It's a manipulated one from the original. From, I think it was Nick Sorton, and in his original. Yeah, the original post was him. And Nick sort of said, America needs a healing, and President Trump's healing America, or something like that. And then he had this painting.
Well, the thing is, President Trump.
Everyone's saying like President Trump painted the picture or something. He's healing the person on the table. You can see the nurse and then everything. There's a hospital in the background. There's all different signs.
Well, it was a meme originally that was posted some time ago, and when President Trump posted it, it had slightly changed. If you look at the people at the top, just over his head, there's like 3 characters. The character in the middle had changed, but I listened to what he said about, I was a doctor, and it's like, if you have a look in the channel, you will see a picture, and it is of the Red Cross, and the Red Cross have these outfits the doctors wear. I put it into the channel. You'll probably have to look at the.
That was a fake one though, Lisa. That was a meme one that people make. The joking ones. Like I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the actual looks like an action figure, right? In a box? Pretty sure. I mean, unless they make those, pretty sure that's a meme. But we got so many notes in here for today, it's not even funny.
No, I didn't think so.
Here we go. Spirit Cross, Red Cross worker. Did everybody get it wrong, Lisa?
Sorry?
Did everybody get it wrong then? Red Cross worker. Is he bringing us to the Red Cross? Or is it Jesus? I mean, that's weird. I don't know.
Well, it says adult size costume. Is it for sale or something?
Got it. Yeah. I mean, I think it would have to be. Let's see. I mean, if it is, that's huge. I would say that's huge. Spirit Halloween Red Cross worker, because I don't think they would dress a Red Cross worker to make him look like, kind of like Jesus. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Halloween Red Cross worker. There does not be a specific official Red Cross worker costume by Spirit Halloween. Occupational costumes, men's, da-da-da-da-da. But, yeah, so I don't know who made that, but to me, that's one of those meme ones where, they make fun of things like this, kind of. But if somebody like President Trump and his team posted that, I would be like, oh God, okay, that's cool, because is he again with the outfit leading us towards Red Cross? But I don't know. So it's interesting, and people are kind of going off on the whole thing, and they want to go 25th Amendment right now. He's nuts. He's doing da-da-da-da. He's unhinged. So they're going to try to do everything they can to make President Trump look bad. And, he's got his hand on his head. And, if I was to say, I would say it looks like, yeah, he's healing. He looks like he's a healer. But this, what is this? Is that the simple stone? The simple stone? I don't know. What are you guys thinking in the chats? What's the chat saying about all this stuff? This is what I want to know. There's a picture of Jesus healing that almost identical to Trump's post, Krodeck says. Well, I'm sure there's probably a lot of Jesus.
What did you say was a stone? What did you say was a stone?
Oh, no, I was saying, I said, what is this? Is this? Because I'm just kind of going back off the Kim Clement. He will take a simple stone. And then I'm like, well, is that Roger Stone? And going fast forward now, I don't really think he meant Roger Stone. But never know. But yeah, interesting stuff that we have today. Where is this? Apparently we got some busy boats nowadays here. Take a little listen to this quick here. About a minute. Hopefully loud enough.
U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz in effect for nearly 2 hours now. A ship tracking firm reports 121 empty oil tankers are making their way to the United States of America. 68 of those 121 vessels are very large crude carriers capable of carrying 2 million barrels apiece. President Trump has urged countries squeezed by Iran's disruption of the Strait of Hormuz to turn to American energy supplies instead. Well, it would appear perhaps they are obliging him. They are listening to Trump. The president told Fox, quote, China can send their ships to the U.S., China can send their ships to Venezuela, while also saying that empty oil-carrying ships from many nations are all headed to the U.S. to load up. That from the President of the United States.
So, all right, you want to shut down the strait? That's cool, dog. We'll send you guys over here. Come on around to our neck of the woods. You want to block this area or whatever? Cool. I mean, we've been a net exporter here, so I don't know how much we could fill up these people to go out, but that should also mean that our prices should be going down here in the United States, right? If we got all this extra oil that everybody's coming over here to soap up, then our prices should be going skyrocketing down. Skyrocketing down? I don't know. Going down to the floor. Yeah, that would be the phrase. So, any comments on these ones, guys? Because
I think it's, again, we've been covering this. I think new trade routes are being made, huh? New trade partners. Great things for the United States and Venezuela. Looks like we're controlling the oil trade because we have a majority of the market that we're controlling. So today, I think it was yesterday, that they blockaded the Strait of Hormuz. Well, who does that affect? And they can now, be rerouted to other relationships outside of just doing business this way. And it's a direct attack on what we've been covering, those global elites. And it's great. Because as you mentioned, the pirates, I mean, these are a couple year old, 100-year-old, whatever, trade routes where they've been able to pillage and, commit crimes. They can traffic, they can do all kinds of stuff. And it's all under that guise of maritime.
Right, usually. So what's going to happen to the Gulf states now?
I think that actually
it'll reopen.
Yeah, let me just read this really quick because it's on a different topic. G Fonts dropped another dollar rant. Rumble rant says Trump was dressed like a pope in the meme. Jesus Christ never wore the red of the Roman Empire, which could be I don't know, but I think that people are just getting too pissed off about nothing. But thank you for that, sir. It appears, Lisa, that I think what's going to happen if you're asking me to pull out a crystal ball here, I would say that as of the blockade, if they're going to actually do that or not, I don't know. But they're saying they're going to. But I think the people of the area are going to have to, do what they need to do to protect their own oil. And they need to actually get involved, and they need to be their own policemen, because we over here cannot be the policemen to folks over there. You know what I mean? All the way over here all the time. And that's what I want. I want our military. I want them all right here on the border, stacked right up right there, and then stacked right up over here. Nobody goes in. Anybody can go out if you'd like.
Yeah, that would mean pulling out the bases then, because there is, there is kind of agreements with the Gulf states, because the Gulf states were propping up the petrodollar. That's what they were set up there. They were set up by the Brits. I think one of them might have been set up by Spain. But all of the monarchies, as I'll call them, the families that run those countries over there, they were all installed. They weren't. They didn't inherit. They were given. It's a full-on setup. Like almost like anything else. And yes, it was there to prop up the American dollar.
Mm-hmm.
The petrol.
And it also cut off China big time. So that's another thing. That's very positive about this.
And send your ships.
I think it's really good chess. Just war game theory, whatever. I think he's constantly outthinking the opponents, and he's making them weak before his next maneuver, making sure that everybody knows. And even though he's got to battle the fake news, which seems to be behind all these billionaires that don't want President Trump to change things for the better.
We got people on the ground over there. We're going to have a full out, boots on the ground invade. That was weeks ago. All right. And so I think that whole thing has been kind of tallied off to the point where all the rhetoric is, people are just they'll push in any which way they can, because apparently all they had today was, he's going to be blocking this, and he calls himself Jesus now. But even the UK is not supporting U.S.-Iran blockade, as France's Macron confirms multinational talks on the Strait of Hormuz. UK is one of the first countries to declare it's not going to help the U.S. in its blockade of Iranian ports. Blockade is due to go into effect 10 a.m. on Monday, U.S. President Trump said. He has signaled that the other countries would help the U.S. in the blockade, which I'm sure they're probably not going to. But, it's basically like he's blocking them off and saying, hey, come see us. I don't understand why. I think he should just leave the whole strait alone. Don't block it. But also, hey, come get our oil. Then your ship's here. You want to kind of, roll the dice and go through the Strait of Hormuz. Maybe you have to pay a toll. Maybe you get blown up. Maybe not. But you won't get blown up here. Come to America. So again, I think it's due to the people that actually live in the area. It's incumbent upon them to work all this stuff out, and it's not really us to be there.
Very diplomatic about it. I don't think we're going to leave too many military bases, because a lot of countries pay us to be there to protect them. So if Trump knows that these countries are going to pay us, and substantially, to protect them, then that's the arrangement. Now with the NATO stuff, they're supposed to come and help us out. Just like if they get in trouble, we're going to help them out. With the Ukraine stuff, we've been there. So it's really kind of bring the enemy to the surface.
With NATO, Article 5, it's only if somebody attacks you, not if you attack somebody else, regardless. That's what it's about. An attack on one is an attack on all.
Is that what the stipulation is?
Yeah. So they can, they can use that to not get involved. They're not obligated to get involved unless it was the opposite way around and Iran just attacked America. Then yes, that would be, everybody would join in, but otherwise no. They're not obligated at all. But by the way,
isn't that strange, because NATO protected Ukraine, and Ukraine's not part of NATO?
No, remember
that whole thing?
but NATO, Ukraine is a proxy for NATO. Like if you kind of scratch the surface, you'll see that the whole thing about the Ukraine is about provoking and weakening Russia in some way. Not that that's worked, but But Ukraine is without a doubt a proxy for NATO, without a doubt. It wasn't the Ukraine that was building up.
Point being, I wonder what excuse they used at just being a proxy. So, all right.
Yeah. So but yeah, they were trying all kinds of things to. It was Ukraine actually, But think about the Ukraine. Ukraine's like Cabal HQ. It's Khazaria.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. And the amount of fraud, trafficking, all of that goes on, that has been going on in the Ukraine too. And we know that Zelensky is basically a puppet. He thinks he's an expert, but anyway. But that's how it goes, and I think there's a wider picture, because Europe want to make the Russia into the bogeyman and treat it like it's the old USSR, forgetting the fact that they were the ones kind of running the USSR.
Back in the USSR.
Hey, Space Shot, check out the link I put at the bottom.
Oh,
yeah. No, it's good laughing meme, I think.
Yeah, your picture there of the UK. The UK doesn't really have the resources.
No, the link at the bottom
anymore. No.
Ding ding. Oh God! Oh no! What are you gonna make me do? Okay, here we go. 4 seconds. Nice beard. Let's see.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling. We do a little troll.
Promises made. Trump, Pence. Oh my word, that's bananas. All right, guys. Think about. I'm gonna take a few seconds to probably read one of these commercials here quick, and I'm gonna thank a couple folks. But Mac and Lisa, just think about and remind me to unmute. Think about anything that anything we want to cover that we have not covered, and I did want to read one of these as well here. I did the one from Mr. Fonts there. Thank you, sir. And then Darling USA 1 dropped a $5 rant. Says it's like Tusi says, don't always take President Trump literally, but always take him seriously. God bless POTUS and his loyal team. Absolutely. Thank you for that too, Darling USA 1. And then Cap 78 Pack with another $5 rant says, thanks for all you do, Space Shot. Lisa Band. And I think, okay, Lisa B and Mac. My bad reading, but thank you there, Cap. Lisa Band. I'm like, oh, okay, Mike's just a bad reader there. Let me just do one of these bad boys really quickly, and we will get to anything that Mac and Lisa wants to get that we have not. And that one comment there was mentioning 2CTV. Ghost told me a while ago, take a look at that dude. So I went and looked at him, and I'm like, all right, now let me see if I can tear him apart and see, maybe he's just some Israeli talking guy or whatever. But apparently he lived in Iran till he was about 13 or so, and then moved to the UK over in Lisa's neck of the woods. But so haven't dug too much deeper into him other than that, but let me just get this one out of the way here, and then we'll get back to the show. All right, parents, real talk for a second. America is about to hit a huge milestone. We're coming up on America's 250th birthday, 250 years of freedom, grit, sacrifice, and the greatest experiment in self-government the world has ever seen. This is the perfect moment to help your kids understand why this country matters. It's not just about fireworks and hot dogs, but the real story behind it all. There's a free guide called The Kid's Guide to America's 250th Birthday, and it's honestly a great way to introduce kids to how America began, who the founding fathers were, what they risked, and why the ideas they fought for still matter today. This guide sends kids back to the moment when brave men signed the Declaration of Independence knowing full well they were risking their lives for freedom. It breaks it all down in a way kids can actually understand and enjoy without watering it down or turning it into boring schoolwork. If you care about raising kids who know where this country came from and why it's worth preserving, this is something you'll want to grab. And the best part, it's completely free with a special offer. You just need to pay $2 for shipping and handling. Head over to freeusabirthday.com. That's freeusabirthday.com, and the Kids Guide to America's 250th Birthday for your kids today. America's story matters. Make sure the next generation knows it. Boom. Now, I am going to make sure I unmute just in case there. And guys, as I'm reading that too, I'm thinking, like, I don't know if any of you guys feel the same way too, but it's almost like I feel like a lot of us want the second, revolution of our country, or should I say the first revolution of our country, or a major revolution in our country to, rid this place of crime and fraud. And I think there are so many of us that are ready to do that, and we're kind of foaming at the mouth to do so. So, I think to any of the kind of people that may not kind of trust in maybe where Trump is going with certain things, I'll just leave this caveat, which is one way or the other, something's gonna big gonna be going down, and whether it turns into folks grabbing their muskets and taking up their duty to redo the government, one way or another, there's something big will be happening. So just keep that in mind, that we have many millions, and I would venture to say tens of millions, if not close to hundreds of millions of people around the world that want to see a big change in the way, not only the way America's ran, but their countries as well. So I do feel kind of blessed to even be alive during all this stuff as it's going on, and it's interesting to watch it unfold around me. So I do think about those things, and hopefully you guys do too.
Totally agree. That we there's just a lot of countries out there that just need a complete change of government, a complete change in everything,
Absolutely.
And maybe they do need a revolution. Maybe we need one over here because, governments aren't working for the people.
No, I mean, what is it? Government is defined as what? To control the mind, right? If you break down the roots of the word, I think it's controlling the mind. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So let me see. I got a couple more links, of course, to go through too, guys. And I don't know if I've shared this or if I'm going to share this with the crowd. So if any of you guys out there who are readers and like to, this did come out today and it was released. These are the transcripts. Now, remember, this is the transcripts from the actual intelligence community inspector general himself, the one who is now in the crosshairs of basically, you pushed along this whistleblower and you basically allowed Schiff and them to go after President Trump. So I'm going to drop that in the Rumble and YouTube site. And Lisa Mack, I'm not sure if you are aware, but we are not on DLive anymore. They shut down operations, or they're going to be within, the foreseeable weeks or months or whatever. But DLive is gone. No mas.
I noticed there was a link missing.
One link missing. So they all got it. There you go.
And right now, isn't President Trump meeting with the King and Queen of the Netherlands? The orange. And the Queen happens to have an orange dress on.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Are they in the? Let me see if the White House is posting anything now. White House, yes. Jeez, come on. Things acting all sorts of slow here. Happening now. This is 8 hours ago. I think this is the woman that was in the video. Oh yeah, because remember there was a DoorDasher with her. Happening now.
This was hilarious. That was a funny interview.
I didn't see this. All right, let's take.
The lady's like is like a big fan of President Trump, and then he answered the door, took the McDonald's, and then he held her. He interviewed her, and then he asked her to be a part of the press conference.
Oh my! All right, 26 seconds. We got time. Let's do it.
Okay. We are looking at a live picture of the president. We heard the press had been gathering.
This doesn't look staged, he says.
And getting a food delivery.
I heard you picked up an extra $11,000 that you didn't get because the tax bill was so big.
Oh wow! So she's saving a lot of money apparently during her deliveries, but
yeah, she's got a husband suffering from stage 3 cancer, so it helps her to pay for the bills.
And Trump invited her and him to the UFC fight if he can come. And then she got interviewed afterwards by somebody. I have that interview if you want that. But she speaks highly of President Trump.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we'll pop that up. So actually, this is new, guys. If it's not too long, go ahead, Lisa. If you're going to say something, I'll play JD's 1.5 minute
No, go
response.
ahead, play JD first.
All right. So this is it looks like 14 minutes ago, guys. Yeah. JD Vance talking about them trying to make a deal in Iran, which apparently didn't sound like it went over well, at least last night. But here we go.
Made clear where we're willing, again, to be accommodating, and we've made clear where we absolutely need to see the nuclear material come out of the country of Iran. Now, what's interesting, Brett, about this is that in the process of doing this negotiation, I do think that we acquired some knowledge about how the Iranians are negotiating. And this is ultimately why we left Pakistan, because what we figured out is that they were unable, I think the team that was there was unable to cut a deal, and they had to go back to Tehran, either from the supreme leader or somebody else, and actually get approval to the terms that we had set. So again, whether we have further conversations, whether we ultimately get to a deal, I really think the ball is in the Iranian court, because we put a lot on the table. We actually made very clear what our red lines were. We also made clear, Brett, that we actually would be very happy. The President of the United States has said he would be very happy if Iran was treated like a normal country, if it had a normal economy, if its people were able to prosper and thrive. But in order for Iran to be a normal country economically, it's going to have to be a normal country from the perspective of not pursuing a nuclear weapon, and it's going to have to be a normal country from not pursuing terrorism. And so there really is, I think, a grand deal to be had here, but it's up to the Iranians, I think, to take the next step.
Interesting response there. Lisa, do you want to make a response? Then we'll get Mac's answer on that as well. But apparently they're not making a deal right now. And the only thing I'll add before you go is, remember the deal that President Trump put out last week, the 10-point, 7-point, or whatever, we're going to be talking, we're almost going to make a deal. Apparently that had a lot of fracturing. The response for that was fracturing the insides of Iran. Apparently they have some hardliners versus some people who were not happy that Trump said that they think they're going to basically make a deal or whatever. So apparently there's a lot of infighting over there right now. But go ahead, Lisa.
We kind of knew the positions before they even went to the meeting. You know, Trump had a 15-point plan and they had a 10-point plan. And their 10-point plan has been available for some time, actually. You know, I think they slightly altered it before they went there. Not just before, but I think both parties knew where they stood before they went to that meeting, and they were poles apart. It was obvious to me, you know, and I can't think that they'd be happy supposedly negotiating with two people who the last two times they negotiated with them, they got bombed, you know, whilst the negotiation was going on or just as they were leaving the door. So, you know, like they walked into a trap. So, we'll see where it goes. I think there's maybe there should be some mindfulness about like the world's economy, you know, the world's economy, not just America's economy, the world's economy. The world needs some help, you know, otherwise, with the prices going up, it's going to hurt a lot of people. And I mean ordinary people, just people, you know. Got to try and solve it somehow, really. Yeah, like, no joke.
Absolutely. Mr. Maxer.
Yeah, I agree with Lisa. This truth here, I found it very interesting. 98.2% of the drugs coming in the United States by ocean or sea have stopped. So you're recovering the laundering of money from Venezuela. Well, you know, drugs are also part of that. So part of that drug market of money laundering must be affected as well. But yeah, Iran, I think I really feel like these whole Iran thing's been planned out for years and you know, this was the time. I think we're even given heads up in Q posts about this and how Obama was even the main contributor to Iran's kind of like network of, you know,
That's
bad
huge
stuff. And everything recently's been pointing to Obama and the Rothschilds and Clintons. So it just, I'm very interested in now having the control of the Strait of Hormuz, which was definitely a hotbed for illegal activity, is going to reroute a lot of things, and those criminals are going to have to find different ways. And I think that just this whole reorganization of things is going to be beneficial. I know it might be a short-term, rise in prices, but I think long-term this is going to be years upon years of decades of positivity, of peacefulness, and no more like drug trafficking and corruption. So that's what the long-term one I see that as a more positive than what the negative of what's going on right now as far as prices, the economy.
I found something I was looking for the other day, and I found it finally. I think I was watching UFC the other night or whatever. So this is 3 nights ago. All right, so I think it was just before. And I'm sure some of you guys have seen this picture when I pop it up on the screen. I know Lisa and Mac have, but some of you in the chat may have and may have not. But this is kind of giving you an indicator of how long and how deep these people go. I mean, look at that. I said, understanding this message will help grasp how deeply this entrenched cabal is and has been for decades. You got Merkel of Germany, Theresa May, and Grybauskaite, Lithuania. What was she, like the queen or something like that? I don't know if she's still in charge over there or whatever, but 3 world leaders just chilling out together, hanging out. Like, are they, Lisa, what do you think about their DNA? I mean, the odds.
Look at the shape of the eyes and the nose.
Right?
They're all exactly the same.
That's what I was going to say. The nose and eyes. Wow. So, like we talked about, we've talked about this in the past. Was Merkel a offshoot of maybe some frozen stuff from Hitler or something like that? That was kind of thrown around. But I don't know the source of this, but I would contend that it's very likely that there's either the same mother or same father or maybe even both on all of these women here. I don't know, but the skin tone, like very fair skin on all of them. The eyes look almost identical. This one's nose looks a little
as well.
Oh yeah, high forehead. Yeah, if you pull the windshield wipers over here, that would be a big forehead.
That's a 5 head.
That's a 5 head. So yeah, this one, these noses look a little thicker than this one, but you're gonna have a little bit of difference in families. But
Theresa May is much taller than they are.
Dude, it is. And remember, what was going on? Did she have, diabetes or something like that? Remember when she was sitting there with Zelensky and she was just shaking like a leaf? I don't know if anybody. You think so?
Yeah.
Wow. Let me see.
Because it can give you the shakes.
See if I can pull
the nerves.
Face shot. I put shaking.
That has been the rumor. Just like Hillary Clinton when she shakes her head like wildly with that smile and everything. That's another side effect, allegedly, from Coup.
Oh, when she starts laughing in the middle of talking about, people dying and
her chai tea.
And funny how they all became like the equivalent of prime ministers, Right. The one I can't pronounce the name there on the right as you're facing the picture. She's somewhere like Latvia or somewhere like that. She's definitely like a top politician in her country, without a doubt.
2433. If this comes up anything big, I'm gonna crap myself. Here we go. Repost George Papadopoulos, Deaths and Throats. We have put him on the spotlight for this very reason. I'm just pulling this one up here, guys. This is from earlier today. This is 12:33. The post is at 12:33, so I was looking up 24:33, which did not seem to have
I haven't seen him ever post 34 before.
Thank you. What is that?
Yeah.
What's 34 be?
34 is an interesting one.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one.
My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we're taking back our great country, land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm. and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. Now remember the section we talked about earlier, 311. On POTUS's order, we have initiated certain fail-safe that shall safeguard the public from the primary outfall, which is slated to occur 11.3 upon the arrest of Mr. Podesta, So you guys remember this post. Talking about the EBS, emergency broadcast system, all that good stuff. So we'll see. I mean, I'm waiting for, look to Twitter for this post. That's what they were talking about back then, that Trump would be.
Yeah, remember Podesta has another meaning, which is like the top law person.
And
Something
Podesta
like that.
answers to Doge, actually.
Yeah.
What?
Doge is the, I forget what it's like Greek maybe, but the top position over a Podesta, that position is Doge, D-O-G-E.
Wow. A Podesta is a high-ranking chief magistrate, administrator, or mayor in medieval Italian cities holding significant executive and judicial power. Interesting.
Yeah, Boris Johnson's family were Podestas.
Really?
I believe. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then, did you mention earlier, don't take Trump literally? Was that somebody?
That was that was a comment.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's interesting, like when he says, "Oh, Iran's been decimated," and I was like, I wonder why he keeps using that word "decimated," and it turns out that it's in ancient Rome, literally it meant the removal of a tenth, a brutal military punishment where 1 out of every 10 soldiers in a unit was executed for offences like cowardice, mutiny, or desertion. The process involved dividing the guilty unit into groups of 10, where one man was selected by lot to be clubbed to death by his own comrades.
Nice.
Survivors faced additional humiliations, such as being forced to eat barley rations instead of wheat and camping outside the fortified camp. Although often attributed to the early republic, the first well-documented instance occurred in 72 BC under Marcus Licinius Crassus during the war against Spartacus. Today, the word is commonly misused to mean destroyed completely or annihilated, but its original Roman definition specifically referred to the execution of 10% of a group rather than the destruction of 90%.
Wow, good stuff, Lisa. That's crazy. And yeah, maybe that's what it is. Because and again, talking about the decimated Roman,
and it said annihilated, yeah.
Decimation.
Yeah.
Decimating and punishment. Yeah, and I did see something, it was like 10%, right here, 90%. In modern English, the word is used mostly commonly not to mean destruction of a tenth, but rather the destruction of 90% or just annihilation. So yeah, I mean, very interesting. Thank you for the comment, and then thank you for sparking Lisa's memory on that one, because yeah, I mean, some things like that you can take them literally, right?
and then the Ides of March, the Ides of March starting on March the 15th, the stabbing of Julius Caesar, representing the Republic. And the Ides of March aren't just like 1 week. It goes on for weeks, and it goes well into April as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you got King Charles visiting the White House at the end of April. And then I think the Ides of March this time around, kind of symbolizing, trumping Caesar. He's not going to get assassinated by his own Congress. This is actually going to be the opposite this time. So that's how I view the Ides of March this time around with Trump in office. But I did put a description of what Doge was versus Podesta. It's interesting how they picked Doge, probably to troll. I'll read it in the late 14th century. Okay, you got it. All right,
I'll pull it up for you. I just put up this thing of BB where he was saying how he was reading a book, The New Rome, and how they need to win this next one. And by the way, guys, we're Rome, by the way. But there you go.
Yeah, you and us.
You and I.
We are wrong, you know?
Late 14th century Genoa, the Doge was the executive ruler elected for life, while the Podesta served as the judiciary head, typically a non-citizen professional of noble origin. Although the Podesta was the second most important official and generally independent in performing his duties, he was ultimately controlled by the Doge. That is friggin' hilarious. Who often interfered with his appointment despite statutes designed to ensure independence. This arrangement worked smoothly most of the time, though occasional friction occurred, and the law explicitly barred the Podesta from interfering in cases of high treason. Ooh, that is interesting. So he could basically mess with things, but he couldn't interfere in cases of high treason. That is dude, that is just bananas. The Doge and the Podesta. Yeah, multiple meanings exist, and we were told that in the posts, right? Wow. Oh God, that is bananas, guys. I'm loving this, and we do need to have these conversations.
I wanted to just mention this. Iron Eagle in the Q post. What if that's a misspell? It's Iran Eagle, and if you look up Iran Eagle, one of them is the Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle.
Yeah, very interesting. Scavino posted a post like that the other day showing a golden eagle. So I found that dasting.
Oh, this is interesting too.
If you think about how old the Iranian civilization is, them being a civilization nation, I don't know how old it is, but it's very old. Very, very old.
Persians.
And at the same time, there's in the Middle East, there is a there's a lichen for I don't know what they call it. When they fly birds and eagles and like
a
falcons or a hawk.
Falconry, that's it. Falconry. That goes back a long time in the Middle East. Long time.
Oh, yeah. You guys remember the Birdman story, right? His name was Alan Singh, by the way. His middle name was Singh, S-I-N-G. And I think his last name was Perot, but spelled like parrot. So when does a bird sing? Welcome aboard, Alan. I don't know. And originally back then I was like, oh, Alan, it's got to be Dershowitz. Welcome to the legal team. But then as we get more and more information, we think, oh, okay, it was this guy, Alan Perot, who mentioned that essentially, they were essentially behind killing some of these Extortion 17 members, which, by the way, we might get some in, and I got to talk to Mac and Lisa about this. Might get some really, really solid information on that in the next month or so, talking about like original files type stuff, like stuff that, let's just say, Hillary Clinton and Obama would not want out. Is going to be getting released out on various channels at the same time, coming soon to a theater near you.
About time.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And just, quoting the people that have seen it, I've not seen the information yet, but the people that are, militarily connected that have seen it, the prevailing quote was, what they did was so effed up. And that was just repeated. So effed up. Like, you will not believe it.
Flew them over enemy territory knowing that they're going to get shot down. It's crazy.
And then had them wait, hover. And then there was, communications as well. Is basically, we're being told the communications that were being had during that time will shock people.
And this was after their names were unmasked, I believe.
Yeah, I believe Obama had unmasked
and their family, maybe.
Biden, I think, right? On accident or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, let me read this before it goes away here. Q Fanatic, thank you for the $5 rant. It says, maybe Trump's announcing that we'll soon be able to have access to med beds, referencing Trump as a healer meme. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Space Shot Lisa, Best Laugh Eva, EVA, and Mac, end parentheses, exclamation point. You are the news now, all in caps. Exclamation point, End of parentheses. So thank you for that. So Lisa, you got the best laugh ever. Ever.
Ever.
EVA, ever. That's like a New England way of saying ever. But what was I gonna pull up here? Her husband quit a $92,000 Ayanna Presley's husband quit a $92,000 a year job to start a consulting firm. Oh boy. So basically they're saying Presley's husband's net worth now is skyrocketing to $8 million, guys. So again, another one. Oh wait, what? This has got to be.
He's the baldy, right? The one without any hair. Is that her?
I got a quote. Hold on 1 second. This might be huge. If this is real, I don't know. Yeah, she was the baldy one. Yeah, she was the one with the bald head. This is something I was trying to find something else, but I almost don't want to breathe. All right, let me look at this. Somebody grokked it. All right, I'm just going to tell you. Somebody's posting out on X, and they're saying federal authorities have reportedly carried out a quiet search at the home of former President Barack Obama, tied to the massive grand jury. And Grok is saying, yes, there is a grand jury, but there's nothing to prove this right now. So I almost didn't even want to say that because, let's see if we can find anything. Search warrant, Obama. Anything? No record of a search warrant, classified. Nothing. So that's why we have to be extra careful with this stuff, especially while we're doing it on the fly here. But a lot of fake stuff out there, guys. And I don't know, maybe this guy got a jump on the story, before everybody else in the world did. I doubt it, but you just got to be careful. I'm just so sick of the breaking news people and this just in. And it's like, no, it's not just in, guys. It's 3 years old. Here's one more, guys. I got one more interesting one, and then anything else you got, Mac and Lisa, and then we can wrap it up. But I thought this was pretty cute, especially with we know about the former president was basically on the run as well for a while there. Former Brazil spy chief arrested by ICE in the United States. Oh, look, he's a thinking guy. Former Brazilian intelligence chief Alexandre Ramagem has been detained by ICE in the United States, agency reported on his website Monday, after he fled Brazil in September following his conviction for plotting a coup with ex-president Jair Bolsonaro. Former federal police inspector was sentenced to over 16 years in prison for his role in a plot to overturn leftist leader Luiz Ignacio Lula da Silva's 2022 election victory over Bolsonaro. So, guys, it sounds to me like, this would be like, back then it would have been, Ratcliffe? He was the DNI, right, I think? So this would be like a Ratcliffe getting arrested in Brazil for trying to say that the election for Trump was, fraudulent or something like that, but in reverse. So, I don't know. You got anything on this guy there, Mac or Lisa? I mean, obviously we know about the election, and most likely it probably was stolen by Lula. I would say almost certainly by Lula da Silva. But again, I don't really follow Brazil too deeply. But
there seems to be a bunch of people that have been prosecuted recently for similar stuff. So I don't know. What did he do? He just was.
Well, he said he was basically in his role in a plot to overturn the election in 22.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of these people, like criminals in other countries, been hiding out in the United States. There's been multiple people recently that have been, like I said, arrested. But it hasn't just been from ICE. It could be from U.S. Marshals or
Mac, Lisa,
other
just
stuff.
Keep the stream going for a minute. I think I got somebody at the door, which is weird. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any much else to say about this guy. Lisa, you got anything on him? This is the first time I'm hearing it.
I just read a little bit about him today. I think he was in Miami or something like that. He was picked up there. That's all, And I'm not sure if they said he was taken by ICE. Maybe.
It says here it
Yes,
was.
he was. It does. Yeah. But I don't know that much about him or what actually happened. Brazil need dollars. I know that much. So I think every month they get a certain amount of American dollars, and they auction them off to business people because they need the dollars to be able to buy goods or something like that. Like they really need the dollars. They can't do any business without it, without having dollars. But the government auction off a certain amount of dollars once a month. Ridiculous, right? Absolutely ridiculous. But
I was thinking of people not arrested, but people that have been, their green cards or citizenships have been terminated because their association with, foreign nationals that were tied to, like, say, terrorism. But that I've been seeing a lot of. Marco Rubio's been on top of it.
Yeah, you've got quite a few people that have been allowed to stay there. There was one guy. He was part of the IRGC or something like that, a sharpshooter or whatever. Went to court. The judge said no. So you've still got a lot of activist judges. In the UK we had a migrant that maybe on the second day that they were staying in the UK. They assaulted somebody, stabbed somebody. There's just a long laundry list of crimes, including beating up a 14-year-old. And, the judge basically let him off because she said that the prisons were too crowded. And then 2 weeks before, she jailed a soldier for a tweet.
Wow, that's a little much.
You couldn't make it up, honestly.
Wow.
You could not make it up. The soldier got jailed for 2.5 years for one tweet, and the migrant who committed all of these crimes, beating people up, stabbing people, all of that, got up, never even went to jail.
What did the guy tweet exactly?
Don't know, but you know that it's bad over here because they're curtailing free speech. JD Vance has been telling everybody all about it for over about a year now. But it's true. It's true. And it may even get worse. I can't remember what the organization is, but yeah, you've got it coming to the States. Anti-Semitism and all of that.
Anti-Islamic messages on Facebook. Jailed. Is it Daphron Williams? Oh wait, this might be the United States. No, it can't be.
AA Rod.
Be nice. D nice. Ex-soldier jailed for anti-Islam Facebook posts. This is 24.
I'll be the one.
It's 2024. I'm trying to see if 150 hours of British Army veteran arrested because of anti. This is 2022. You know when the arrest was, Lisa? Was it in the last year?
Know, but I just know it was the same judge. Both cases. But the migrant was not that long ago. I'll try and find it. One sec.
Interracial hatred, who made posts referring to civil war, grossly offensive tweets about Captain Sir Thomas More. Mean drunk tweets can get you 150 hours of community service in England. Maybe it's this guy, jailed, because it says jailed. Come on, here we go. 2024. So was it a bald guy? Civil war is here. The only thing is missing is bullets. That's the next step, is what he posted. I mean, it's bad that you guys.
Think that's ridiculous. I mean, it's so over the top.
I know it's. I don't know how you guys allowed that to. How it allowed to get in there.
No choice.
I know.
Because some politicians don't want to be criticized, so they bring in laws that help that not to happen.
Disgusting. It is. It's literally flat out disgusting.
We've arrested more people and jailed more people than even Russia. I'm telling you.
God. Thank God we got the First Amendment.
It's thousands.
Yeah, I know.
Thousands of people.
Oh, I looked it up. It's been a lot. And it's on the rise too. I thought it would calm down, but nope.
Oh God, you guys are gonna love this one. How did I not see this on Mornings with Maria yesterday?
Oh, one other person that's been caught divulging classified information was Courtney Williams, who was a 40-year-old former U.S. Special Operations Command employee and Army veteran.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was from Wagram, North Carolina, leaked information about the downing of an F-15E fighter jet over Iran.
Not gonna be good for you, sister. And then again, was that all really, a retrieval of a soldier, or was that another operation that they were trying to cause confusion on? But Weekends with Maria, guys, here. Short one from John Ratcliffe, the CIA director, former DNI.
So what I think I hear you saying is there is still an opportunity for indictments, potential prosecutions, accountability from those people who may have lied under oath, like John Brennan, James Comey, and perhaps Hillary Clinton.
Well, that's why I've made the referrals that I have. DNI Gabbard has made referrals, and why we're going to continue to share the intelligence that would support the ability of our Department of Justice to make bring fair and just claims against those who have perpetrated this hoax against the American people and this stain on our country.
Director, one other question on this. Tulsi, as well as President Trump, used the word. So what I think I hear you saying.
Damn, they cut it off. But the key word there that she was about to say was treason. And I don't know that there's a statute of limitations on treason. I'm pretty sure there ain't. But, the fact that some people are saying, oh, this, 5 years or whatever the year window is coming up on some of this stuff. And it's like, not for the treasonous stuff. You're going to be in deep doo-doo.
Check out the post in the bottom of the chat. 2025 Ratcliffe basically says it.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you one thing that we've learned very clearly, and that is that the Inspector General for the intelligence community can provide no information about the contacts between the Hipsy majority and the whistleblower prior to his involvement. So the only way that we'll be able to get that information is from the Hipsy majority themselves. They are fact witnesses in the same investigation that they are now running. Nowhere else in the United States of America can you be both a fact witness and the prosecutor or investigation in anything, much less an investigation to remove a president from office. It's entirely inappropriate. And Chairman Schiff should be disqualified from running an investigation where his committee, members or staff, are fact witnesses about contact with the whistleblower and the whistleblower process.
Ooh, mic drop. Mike,
did you pick it up? Overthrow a president?
Exactly. I mean, and it's treason, right? It's the worst that you can do. And, what does it take to engage, the military over these people? You'd have to highlight the fact that they are absolutely corrupt at every turn. And not only are they corrupt, but the people that are supposed to be watching over them, like the inspector generals, some of those guys were corrupt as well. So it's just like the good old boys network. It's like, I don't care if I get caught. I'll just have somebody sweep it under the rug. And that's what's been happening. But as we're seeing here, from my vantage point, all these things are not going away. 2020 election, no, we're still getting stuff on the friggin' machines and ballots and people, in Georgia. Tulsi went down there. Oh, well, congressmen and women had a problem. Why was the director of national intelligence there? Oh, foreign governments involved. That's why, right? That stuff. For the election, this stuff, how they're coming after him and how they went after him, this stuff isn't going away either. It's all coming back into the fold. It's not going away. And so I don't think they're going to keep selectively dropping this as slowly as they have over the last many years to eventually do nothing about it. That's my personal opinion. So any comments you guys want to make on that one and any more stories before we hit the road, boys and girls?
Yeah. Artemis.
Oh, don't even get me started. I got my buddy who played me one of these videos the other day. Lisa, he says, it's a guy in the video and he's like, yeah, we didn't go to the moon. And then the guy's like, well, I recorded it. And you show somebody recording it. Yeah, but it's on tape. And I'm like, wait, hold on. You're telling me you bought any of that stuff that they were selling during the Artemis stuff? I said, don't even get me started because I can go for like 2 hours right now if you want me to.
Yeah, just one thing, like a guy discovered a particular type of plane. So it's like, how did they, re-enter the atmosphere and how did they
been around
return?
forever.
Yeah.
That's old.
Okay.
Again, I have a problem.
I know it became popular again, but that plane's like an old plane.
Oh, how about this one, guys? I don't think we got a chance to play this because this was only 4 days ago. I said, better late than never, I guess, for some people. And this idiot's over here like, oh, I had this idea a week ago, and now I'm telling everybody.
When Joe Kent left, rumors started circulating that he is not enemies with Trump. He's actually a friend of Trump. Trump saved him. This is a coordinated campaign. Joe Kent leaving and criticizing the war is intentional. When Joe Kent...
Oh, better late than never, friggin' fence sitter. All those guys, every last one of these people on this crew. No, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you. But yeah, and again, is that the case? I can't tell you 100% certainty that it is, and I can't tell you that it isn't. So until I do know for certain, I'm not going to stake my flag into the ground.
Would you vote for him?
Would I vote for who?
I wouldn't. Joe Kent. No.
Oh, is he running for president?
No, but if there's your scenario, would you vote for him?
No, definitely.
I wouldn't. So, I don't trust him.
Okay.
But yeah, like, so, you can theorize all you want, but he's slowed up stuff for us. I'll tell you that much. Money's time's money, and Trump's running the country. So I'll follow whatever Trump says. I mean, they can say that he's friends, but we'll see.
We'll see how it all plays out. But go ahead, Lisa, and then I got to make a retraction.
I remember, pointing out when he was first supposedly fired or whatever, or left his job, that he was talking highly of Trump. It was one of the first things that he did. Really.
Very interesting, right? And Lisa Mack, I have to make a retraction statement here. I retract my previous statement about Trump, quote, never mentioning Alex Jones' name since Trump's first election. Trump went scorched earth on AJ, Tucker, Candace, Megyn, da-da-da-da. So I retract my statement, okay, and Donald Trump has now mentioned Alex Jones since his election. I know why Tucker, Megyn, Candace, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Interesting that he says that all of these people have been fighting him for years, while I only think maybe one of them covertly, Alex Jones. And again, I could play you guys the 2-minute video of various clips saying, oh, Trump rolled over. I thought Trump was a better man than me. But you know what? Alex Emmerich Jones is a better man than Donald Trump. I can't stand the guy. I wish I never effing met him. If he calls me, I'm going to tell him, I don't ever want to talk to you again. Like, I could play those clips over and over. And why people continue to go back to this idiot, I don't know. He's been shown to be who he is. And then every now and then I'll look over here and I'll see 200,000 people watching Alex Jones. And the next one's like 30,000 watching Alex Jones. It's like, really? Really? Nobody gets it yet.
But Candace has had a moments as well with Trump from the very beginning. Old man, maybe shouldn't be doing the job. There's lots of things that she said.
I don't even know if you have the clip, but someone made a compilation. I don't even think Candace is really American. She can't even pronounce our words correctly. I don't know. It's like, have you seen that compilation?
No.
Oh, I don't know why, but I have a feeling like she's from the Caribbean.
Might be.
But
Candace compilation.
We've always had our suspicions, and then President Trump confirming it is great. So
what was that thing I brought up for years?
When like Tucker, he went like kind of private, after he still was getting money through Fox News, even though he was out on his own. He needed to get money, so he ran to like Don Jr. get money, and then he badmouths Trump. And you wonder. Trump always talks about loyalty and stuff, and you just see it right there. Tucker was supposed to be like on the Trump side, and now he's completely exposed. And then, now he's got to come back all crying, or we'll see what he does next. Maybe he'll go all Democrat.
Well,
like he originally was.
He was a never Trumper. And when John Jr. invested in his company, he knew he was a never Trumper.
Well, we knew that, but I don't think a lot of other people did.
Who was a never Trumper?
It was all part of
Tucker.
The case Dominion versus Fox. So it was all over the place. All his text messages were published in the newspapers.
Oh yeah,
like that. And he was slagging off Trump. So no, they knew. But they did still invest in Tucker Carlson Network. It's media.
Ooh, let me see if I can find it. I think I got the correct name. And again, no.
And you remember that picture of like Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene next to Trump, like laughing hysterically, and they're both like shot themselves in the foot.
All right, so guys, this again, I am going to give you a major caveat, and then we'll wrap it up after this one here. Major caveat that I cannot prove that this is real or not, although I had seen it for years. I'd seen it around for years. And Scott Pressler, who was the girl from Virginia with the glasses that was dating the Democrat at the movie theater? That one, she was in it. Scott Pressler was in it. Melissa Carone. Lauren Boebert was in it. So you guys can look this stuff up for yourself. I'm not staking my claim and saying Space Shot believes this 100%. I don't know that's real or not. But it's the keywords you guys can look up is Explore Talent, Candace Owens, Scott Pressler, Melissa Carone. What was that girl's name you just said again? I keep forgetting. Lauren Boebert. Thank you. Yes, Lauren Boebert and a few others. So there is an article that shows pictures of many of them on here. This says she was 32. She's now 35. This was 3 years ago. BS. Not sure that's her photo. I mean, again, there's an article. Let me see. I can actually probably pull it up and show you the other. Scott Pressler's in a friggin' shower in the thing, all wet, and I'm like, ugh.
I remember these way back, and they had links, and they took them down. But whatever. Yeah, it was an actual website, and they had them on there. But it was just years ago. Years.
Based on verified sources, Republicans and right-wing in figures with Explore Talent. Now, this is Grok. Right-wing figures with Explore Talent profiles include Lauren Boebert, Candace Owens, Tommy Lahren, Scott Pressler, Anna Kate. I wouldn't doubt Anna Kate at all. Cara Price, Emma Giovine, and Melissa Carone. Eric Prince is linked via reports of using its models in a 2017 honey trap operation against H.R. McMaster's, if you guys remember that one. And I think I got... Do I have it? No, I don't have the actual one here, but there is a big article or a big website somewhere that had it. Right here. Wentworth Report.
It's actually not unusual, to be honest, if I think about it. Really? Because people get an agent, to get them out there, to get some public relations and stuff like that, And if you think about how many, I was just thinking about how many people from Fox News are now in the Trump administration, or how many actors and actresses or sports people, entertainers become politicians.
This is how, when you were trying to see, it says acting, modeling, profile. So when you're trying to get picked up for what Lisa's saying, that's what you'd use.
Yeah.
Wasn't she in a music video too? Like it's just all strange that they're now like.
He definitely was. He definitely was. Now here is said article, or excuse me, here is somebody who's basically covering it, the image. So here's some of the image that there's supposedly Scott Pressler. I don't know who Emma DGB. Actually, does she go by a different name? Like a I'm trying to remember. Like maybe she's some other girl that
The
uses
Fox
a different.
News assistant who Jeffy Waters left his wife for.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's right there. Shit. Yeah, I was just looking to see if she's maybe somebody else on social media using a different name or something. But Anna Kate and Tara Price. I was on a simulcast with Nate Kane, or one of the fathers of one of the victims of Extortion 17, Nate Kane, Anna Kate, and Nick Pope, I think. And we did a simulcast on that whole the Falconer situation. And then a week later, my channel was gone.
Isn't Anna Cat that person? Have I got the right person who used to run the media for General Flynn? Have I got that right?
Might have. I'll take a look. See.
Maybe he was just picking her up. I don't know.
And movie last night. Pardoned by on JFK's birthday, Junior's birthday. Really? I didn't know that. And so this girl, I think this is her post. It says, "This is the chick," and remember, she was on like oh God, what's that? Survivor or something like that. She was on one of those reality TV shows. So, and then it was alleged that she was used as one of the people in a honeypot deal for McMaster, I believe. So I don't want to sit here and say 100%, but she says, oh yeah, Survivor season 32 Castaway. And I went back on her channel just the other day because I'm like, wait, I did a simulcast with her and a couple other people, and my channel was removed shortly thereafter. Hers was not. And also, I went back to see that simulcast, and that simulcast does not exist on her channel anymore. So that's interesting. Set up to get taken down? I don't know. But again, I can't tell you guys this stuff is legitimate or not. You guys have to use your own discernment. Maybe it's like Lisa and Mac were saying, hey, we're trying to get out there, trying to be an actor. And hey, yes, she was in an actual rap video, apparently. She says that, she said it on her show as well. So, and Mac, you're right. Ethnicity. She Caribbean man. She's Ari, the Caribbean man. All right, guys, we're spinning our things here. I am going to go say a couple thank yous over here on the foxhole.app, aka pilled.net, where I have Jucani drop some shades. Thank you, Jucani, and says God bless, and God bless you as well. And Moonbaby0437 with the can. Thank you all for what you guys do. You are my news. Love y'all. Thank you for that, Moon Baby and Minnesota Girl with the can. No message on there, but thank you. Brewbark with the cookie says, how far will the Great Awakening go? Dude, this is my question too. And actually, I'm going to read that last, and I want to get a response as well from Mac and Lisa as well. One Thunder gifted the can. No message on there, but thank you. And then thank you again to Brewbark for the cookie. And this message is going to be for Mac and Lisa, and I'll give you my opinion quick. How far will the Great Awakening go? Ancient Aliens, 0 Point Energy, Council of Nicaea, Moon Landing, voter fraud, etc., etc. What is your preference? Actually, I'll let you guys go first. Ladies first, Miss Lisa. If you'd like to answer that, how far will the Great Awakening go, or what's your preference? Is the question. Like how far?
That's just a question that's got me stumped. As in, what's my preference? It's like the amount of information that I look at. It's like I have no idea. I have no idea. No idea. I'd just like everybody to wake up, like the majority of people, and just see what the truth is, and also to know the truth myself. That would be perfect. Great awakening. I'd like to know the truth myself. I'd like to be able to fast forward and, have a look behind the veil. Because I think by the time information is available, I think there'll be much more of a movie than what we could have imagined.
Interesting. Mr. Max, sir, any answer on that? And it's basically, how far will it go, and essentially what's your preference to how far it will go?
Well, I mean, I'm out for the truth. I feel like we've been suppressed from a lot of the truth, and that's hindered us from progressing. And I hope that it, they always say the truth sets you free. I really just, whatever they decide to bring out, to be honest, I honestly want the 2020 election to be done, all that stuff, the fraudsters to be taken down, just the cabal, as we always say. But at the same time, I do think that there's some extra truths out there, like, having to do with technology, and it sounds like we're getting a taste of this UAP stuff, which will lead to the questions about technology and stuff. So I don't know. I can only hope and pray and see what happens. So
I gotcha.
I'd really like for the world to come together in world peace. So however that's able to be done, and I think the truth is one great way of doing it.
Yeah, I do wonder whether, let's say the deep state, the cabal, the lot of them will just change form. Yes? According to what they feel they need to do. Because I can't imagine that, given all of the control and the narcissism and elitism, that they're gonna just completely give up. And if I put myself in their shoes, I would change form, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I'm just asking a question on this one. I truly wish that we could get ourselves back to a constitutional republic, in every sense of the word.
I agree.
Get back to that point where you don't need a license for everything, and you don't need a permit for this and a permit for that, and you can collect rainwater if you want. You're not going to get a fine for stuff like that, right? I think our government needs to be rebuilt and minimized. Lisa, you going to add something?
Yeah, I was going to say, good luck with that, with AI coming in.
Right.
I'm sorry to put a dampener on it, but good luck with that, with AI, because it'll just be built in, it'll be the way things work, I think.
Well, we need to not let it get there, and we need to voice our opposition and voice our wants and our desires to go in that different direction. That's what we need to do. We can't just sit on our back and say it's going to happen, and that's it. You know what I mean? I refuse to let that.
I'm absolutely with you on that one. But I think that we're kind of already there. To be honest, I think we're already there, because it's the penetration of like, say, the government, the systems, the different departments, the procedures, and all of that. We're kind of already there, If you look at how Palantir is kind of spread out within the government, from the political side to running certain programs, and the investment that's been made, and the contracts, that's another story to look at.
That's it. It's also, remember, why people always have a bad guy. And in my personal opinion, why there's always a boogeyman is not just for the fact of control and making money like these people can and do. I feel like it's also to keep our bodies physically down, right? And also not healing as fast. When we're living in fear versus living in love, we are not living at full capacity, where our bodies just don't live that way. So you're either in fight or flight, and when you're in that fight, your body takes a lot longer to heal from injuries, etc. And that's what they always want to have, is that one boogeyman. So I thanked everybody over there. Lisa, you want to add one more? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's not fear. It's just looking at the facts of what's going on. And the direction that we seem to be going, and without any breaks, really. And things will get more automated, and they're being put in position. but no, to say, I mean, this is.
You sound like a poo-pooer right now. You sound like you're really poo-pooing everything right now. You're in a bad mood.
Just looking at it. No, not at all. Not at all. Just looking at it. The things that I've looked into, you know, your 500 billion or whatever it is, Stargate and stuff like that. You know, this is the type of thing that it's going to be doing. I mean, I hope that there's lots of good that it's going to be doing as well. You know, because always there's good and bad with lots of things. You know, we need one to be able to judge the other. But yeah, I've just been looking into it. That's all.
Gotcha.
And where we're up to, and it's very interesting to see, and that's what I mean about how I want to fast forward to see how it all plays out. You know.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got to live through it.
I've got my own plan.
Unfortunately, we have to listen through and read through the plot of this one. Unfortunately, but you know, I'm actually enjoying it. I find it very interesting, and I'll tell you what, guys, too. I find this, you know, growing up, politics very boring for me. Didn't think anything was interesting in it at all, and now, you know, when I'm done with this stuff and I'm like, oh, let's find some entertainment to watch. Oh, okay, watch these guys blow each other's brains out for the next 2 hours, or, you know, UFC is about as much entertainment as I get outside of this stuff. But, you know, it's been so encompassing. I had no idea it was as bad and as deep as it was, for sure. You know,
it's like for me, it's like a never-ending movie. You know, with all these plot twists and subterfuge and all kinds of things. You know, I watch it like a movie. I don't watch television. It is my television. You know, watching all the what's going on geopolitically, locally. You know, specific countries and stuff like that. It is entertainment because there's not a lot that I can do about it, if that makes sense. Not in a bad way, just observing. You know.
Absolutely. Let me. Who I can rate us
like
into over
this
here.
Iran war, you know, if somebody wrote a script now, it'd be a good film.
Yeah, no kidding. That'd be in multiple parts. Just think about this time next year, all the new politicians that'll be in place from the midterms.
Oh, definitely. And anybody that's in the Rumble chat,
And
if
then
you guys
the
know anybody
drama
that's live,
going on with that.
Sorry?
What's that?
I was just saying, anybody that's in the Rumble chat, if you guys know anybody that's live right now that I can raid, let me know. If you guys were going to go somewhere anyways, let me know, and I'll just raid you guys into there. Just trying to find, you got to raid 10 people a month or whatever to do their
Give us a
spiel.
thumbs up if you're there as well.
What's that?
On YouTube or Rumble, give us a thumbs up if you don't mind.
I'm stuck at 33, but
You
it
sound
won't
a
let me
little
see.
muffled, by the way, for some reason.
Yeah, my headset kind of ran out of battery.
There you go.
There we go. We are at.
Talking a little bit louder. It's because I'm getting tired. That's what it is.
Oh, come on, Lisa. It's only 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, Tron's live. Good. Perfect. Yeah, we are at 404 thumbs up to 2 down over here on Rumble, which helps us get on the leaderboard. Please leave a comment. And guys, if you're watching after the show, leave us a comment. I do peruse those. Oh, and one more warning, guys. If you see anybody in the chat that has a name that might look like it says Space Yacht 76, take a better look, because there's somebody that's going in the chat and saying, oh, I really like you to connect with me on Telegram. And then they send you a link to, it's not my Telegram. So just be careful of that. Yeah, there's so much of that stuff going on, and almost everybody's channel is doing it out there. So thank you guys out there. Thank you to the mods again, as usual. Mac and Lisa, great show as normal. Thank you to the mods and all of you guys. And now I got a bunch of people. Now I got 3 different people to choose from. The first one I saw was Tron, so I'm going to go with him. So thank you for that, guys. As usual, guys, great show. I will actually be back tomorrow. I'm switching now again, and we're going to stick it like this for future reference. 6 p.m. start time, and we're going to have to end at like 8:30 with Ghost and whoever he's bringing on. So that's going to be Tuesday nights from now on, and then Friday is probably going to be a no-go unless I get another opportunity or whatever. But so tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. with Ghost and Armando for sure, maybe Mike, and we'll see who else shows up. But I will post that out again. Great show again, as usual. As I mentioned, Mac and Lisa, thank you to the mods again. And for you guys, we do appreciate each and every last one of you wonderful world patriots for tuning in out there. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Hello, guys. Something special is happening in here. That's right. It's Brackets and Jackets. Bringing it back for Brackets and Jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jackets Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. Dropping red pills in the best kind of way. This is Brackets and Jackets for the denizens of islands.